transparency, fairness, and thoughtful discussion as we evaluate this request and determine what recommendation, if any, should move forward to the full council. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the request. The applicant is Estimo, Indiana, Inc. Location 4400 North Superior Drive, Muncie, Indiana. The request is for a 5-year tax abatement for approximately $9.4 million in new manufacturing equipment. I'm going to list a couple of the equipments: injection molding, vibration welding, and intake manifold assembly equipment. Regarding jobs, the application states 188 retained jobs and 9 additional jobs. And the proposed deduction schedule: year 1 is 100, year 2 80%, year 3 60%, year 4 40%, and of course year 5 20%. Do we have anyone to speak regarding this abatement, please?
Good evening, committee.
Good evening.
Thank you for considering this application tonight. I'm Tracy Lutton with the Economic Development Alliance of Muncie, Delaware County, here to support ASTMO's application for abatement. I've spent quite a bit of time with the company over the last several months, learning about opportunities in front of them, the current project that you're considering tonight, and it's been exciting to hear about the continued investment in Muncie that's happened over the time since they first located here in 1999. They've been very adaptive to changes in the automotive industry, ensuring that this company here in Muncie remains stable. And so tonight's project represents the next step in that continued stability. I think it's important to share that not only do they compete with other companies for business, they're actually competing against other Astemo locations around the United States and even right here in Indiana. So as you consider this abatement, please keep in mind that this affects their overall competitiveness and how this facility is evaluated when future investments might be able to be made here and new programs are coming online company-wide. So I attached some supporting documentation to the resolution that you have in front of you, or I emailed. If you need a copy, we have those here tonight. But it includes an abatement schedule, and this is an estimate to support the discussion here, to give you a general understanding of the potential for abatement. I'm not saying that this is precise to the penny, but it's a calculation based on known factors today, and it also does take into consideration recent changes to Indiana law pertaining to business personal property exemption and depreciation. So their proposed investment in business personal property is $9.4 million. Obviously, this is a phased in abatement. That doesn't mean that they don't have to pay taxes on this investment. They certainly do. In fact, this investment will generate an estimated $304,564 in new tax increment. This isn't a TIF district in the air park, so those funds will go there to be controlled by the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. And it'll provide a savings to the company of approximately $259,000. So the city receives more than the company receives in benefit. So I also want to note that they are also expanding the real estate of their property. They're expanding the building. They are not seeking an abatement on that piece of the investment, and they'll outline what that looks like during their presentation. So with that, I really thank you for your consideration and your support, in particular, Councilperson Selvey, for coming out and taking a tour and asking really great questions of the company. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, my name is Kevin Mulhern. I'm the site lead for Astemo Muncie. And on behalf of Astemo, I want to thank you guys for taking a look at the information that we sent. Really appreciate that, and for having us here today. And I'd like to introduce a couple of my associates, Ms. Victoria Collier, who's our finance and accounting manager, and Mr. Toby Buchanan, who's our operations and department head. So thank you again. I'm going to fly through this information. I understand we don't have much time. So we are a conglomerate of several companies we were brought together just recently, and I'll leave it at that. So we do a lot of different things. We are a technology company. We do have products that involve Internet of Vehicles and autonomous driving. We are part of the powertrain division. We make intake manifolds, but we can make just about anything. We started out making HVAC assemblies. Now we're doing HVAC intakes. All our locations are flexible. We can do just about anything anywhere, which makes us competitive, right? So that's all good. We also build chassis system products, brakes, struts, shocks, steering systems, drive shafts. We also do two-wheel motorcycle systems for all the similar products. We're selling aftermarket under brand names for our companies. And we're also a global company. And you can see the regions. We're globally all over the world. Our landmark, or our presence is well known. We are a tier 0.5 supplier since we are partially owned by Honda. We're a subsidiary of Honda. We sell to all the major OEMs. 52% of our business is Honda, which is terrific. Honda does very well in the market. So that's all wonderful. So great customer base. You can see Central United States, Midwest United States, Southeastern United States. We have sales offices, also have locations in California. We have a location in Canada, locations in Mexico, Brazil. And you can see the layout for our Astemo Muncie site and some of the intake manifolds we make. When you hear intake manifold, you think we just make one intake manifold. We have multiple models to multiple customers. And we also have lots of room to expand. We have 20 acres, 100,000 square foot building currently, and actually 188 associates at this time. This gives you a timeline of our product history. And when we transition to intake, and I'm sure you guys have already taken a look at that. So pretty significant change to go from a HVAC assembly to intake manifold, to go from HVAC to powertrain to engine, which has several different customers. So really good job by our folks and by our management team to bring this all to fruition. As far as our layout, we'll talk more about the expansion. Initially we want to, and number one, you can see our new expansion will allow up to 5 injection molding machines. The second box there is the new assembly line for volume increase for what's AP3 is an engine code for hybrid engines, which is actually doubling the hybrids are. So that's great for the powertrain group. And then we're anticipating the transfer of the V6 intake manifold line from our Greenfield location, which will bring additional revenue. And then this is just a layout. I won't go into that. We are expecting we'll be looking at the V6 intake move in the end of FY28. And then the expansion numbers, I think Tracy's talked a little bit to that. You can see the investment and the associate related issues. One thing to point out is the percentage of Muncie residents is 69.7%. And for Delaware County, it's approximately 80%. So our folks here are great. We have great associates and they do a wonderful job. And that's why we have these opportunities. We have additional opportunities. We can't really get into too much detail there, not just because of time, but we can't provide that information until those actual products and customers are landed. But one thing of note, the investment will increase significantly if given the appointment of those projects, and the headcount will increase significantly as well. So something else to keep in mind. And this goes on for several years. Model runs run 5 years, and that's awesome. And currently, I must say, with the changes in the geopolitical environment, we're anticipating we're getting expansions from current products. So that's also adds to the volume and the capacity requirements for our facility. This really just shows we have additional, we're thinking about additional expansion with additional prospects. So potentially additional 25,000 square feet. And then you guys have, you talked about economic impact and what it means to the community. We really understand that. And we're proud to be here as part of this community. And you can see the numbers as far as Delaware County payroll impact, county business impact, property tax impact, and the total impact. And of course, that's all 2025 data. Also, our associates for Delaware County, you can see Muncie, we have 152 associates. That Astemo has 150 associates that live in Delaware County, 131 which live in Muncie. And you can see that breakdown. And as far as employee engagement, we do have, we do great things for our folks, and because our folks do great things for us. We're one team, and we really, we're a family, we're a work family. We have a clinic, as you can see. We have on-site temporary on-site staffing agencies. We celebrate all the holidays with our folks. We participate in school supply drives. You can see, pumpkin giveaways, Valentine's Day celebrations, December holiday seasons. We wear sometimes we wear funny outfits and look pretty silly, but it's for a good cause. And then also, you know, Women's History Month, we celebrate. We have quarterly cookouts for our folks where the management team actually cooks for our associates. We celebrate Easter, Black History Month. We do holiday gift exchanges. You know, it goes on and on and on. Memorial Day raffles. You know, we recognize our servicemen and women. We take them to the Speedway annually, which is great. They seem to enjoy that very well. We celebrate St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day, and we also celebrate our local interns. You know, we're lifelong learners, and we have 4 interns currently from Ball State, and they're doing wonderful. They're great, and hopefully we'll be able to hire those folks in the future. We also have a food pantry in-house.
Yes. I'm sorry. We have 3 more minutes
Okay,
remaining.
thank
I'm
you,
sure
thank you.
The committee members might have questions for you. I just want to make sure that
I
their questions are answered.
We can probably stop right there since you guys have the information.
Yes.
So,
Mr. Green, we'll start with you. I apologize. to
no,
you
no,
on
I
the-
understand.
I know your original submission on the additional employees is at 9. Do you anticipate that to grow beyond that?
As project, that'll satisfy current capacity requirements. As these projects come to fruition, if they do come to fruition, we get the business, we're competitive, we anticipate our employment to grow to 60.
Additional?
I'm sorry, yes.
Do you have another question, Mr. Green?
Not right now. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Mr. Mason.
How much total tax savings over the whole 5 years?
I believe the estimate was, Tracy might be able to speak to that more accurately.
Yes, so the 5-year abatement will, it's an estimated savings of $259,668 to the company, but the city will receive $304,564.
Okay, she said 668, 58.
Could you repeat the savings for the city,
Yes,
please? for Mr.
absolutely.
Mason?
So the savings to the company is $259,668 with the 5-year phased-in abatement. And then it'll generate to the city $304,564. And I do have a report with the breakdown year over year, if you'd like a copy of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need a copy of that? Actually, I think it might have set one up there. You got it? Okay.
I do have a question. Okay, so I'm going to combine 2 questions. Would the company agree to annual compliance and wage reporting? Would the company support clawback provisions if commitments are not met?
Well, they do have an annual filing requirement, the annual CF1 form that they'll have to file, which you'll be able to line up with the statement of benefits that's provided tonight to compare to see if they've met their obligation. And then I believe the council does have the wherewithal or the call within your duties to rescind that abatement if they're not meeting their obligations.
Any
Yeah,
other?
yes. Couple questions real quick. Your expansion on the increase in square footage, would you be using local labor for that?
Yes.
Okay. And the equipment for the new lines that you're putting in, are those already in place? Do you have the
No.
equipment? Are you going to use local machine shops and those in the area that can help to manufacture those machines for you? Or you looking to go outside of the state?
Well, of course, some of it's specialized, but yeah, we are working with local engineering firms, and we work with the local. We've got 2 die and tool shops we work with.
Right.
So yes, to answer your question, yes, we will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I do have one more question. What are the expected wage ranges for the new 9 positions?
Same as what's on the application.
Okay. And then one more, are the management and supervisory salaries included in the average wage calculation?
No, they're not.
They're not. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other
No more
questions?
I don't know.
You?
No.
No more. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to give you guys a minute to decide if you would like to give them a favorable or unfavorable recommendation that I can let the council know about. Mr. Mason?
Well, it seems to me that they've got everything in place as far as what we need. I'd give them a favorable also.
That's so,
Yes.
so would I. So as we conclude this meeting and adjourn this meeting, I am going to move forward and and issue a favorable recommendation from the committee to the full council regarding Estimo Indiana Inc. and for their tax abatement requests, subject to annual compliance reporting and any requirements set by law or the council. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. By this, we conclude our tax abatement committee meeting. Thank you.
What's the way?
For Resolution 10-26, the additional appropriations resolution of the Common Council of the City of Muncie regarding relating to the Fire Station Number 5 project. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this resolution? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to Resolution 11-26, authorizing the entry by the City of Muncie into Indiana into a bought agreement, related documents for the Fire Station Number 5 project, and taking certain other action related thereto. Anyone else wishing to speak on Resolution 11-26. Mr. Bilbrey.
Christopher Bilbrey. I thought I would stand and just speak on both of these resolutions as it's all related. I think the council needs to consider this evening to table both of these resolutions and continue to keep ordinance 926 tabled. The council first was brought ordinance 926 last month. You guys tabled it and you called for a public service committee to be held and for the public and the administration to be aware and come and answer questions before the committee. The administration, meaning the mayor's office, the controller's office, the city attorneys, the bond council failed to do that. The fire department came and spoke, but they were unable to answer any of the most serious questions. I feel that this body has a duty to the citizens, to yourself, to the administration, to the firemen, to get as much information about resolution 1026, 1126, and ordinance 926 before moving forward. Tonight's meeting is going to be a long meeting, and I don't know that it's respectful to anybody for the administration and those entities to try and cram that information into this meeting tonight. I think you need to table these, keep ordinance 926 tabled, call for a second public services committee to be held, and let the administration know if they want to move forward with this, that they will attend that meeting and answer the questions. And if they don't, then ordinance 926, resolution 1026, and resolution 1126 can remain tabled. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak this evening on these resolutions? Seeing and hearing none, we'll adjourn the public meeting. Meeting July 6, 2026, to our regular meeting. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Judge Ishmael, lead us in the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Mason, did you have something for the invocation? You have the invocation?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, a day that you have made. We ask that you collect our minds so that we may come to rational decisions on what we're here to discuss today. We ask that everybody act in a civil manner. In these things, Jesus, we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Mason, the floor is yours for citizen recognition.
Yes. Is he here? Is my man here? Yeah, he's here. I don't think he's here. But I'll do it anyway. Next month, Harold. Next month. would like to recognize a young man this evening that I had the honor to watch grow up, become a young man and carved out his own path. You know, in life sometimes we fall. Doors locked. Why they can't get in? Maybe it's yeah. There he is. Okay. Speak to the mic. This again. We're here this evening to honor a young man who I've had the pleasure of knowing for quite some time. Watched him grow up as a kid. You know, growing up as a young man, sometimes kids grow up and they become young men. And sometimes they fall and have to pull themselves back up. This young man did just that. Along that way, we sometimes pick themselves up and some don't, but Howard Miller is one who failed, chose to pick himself up and carve a new path in life. That path was cooking. Howard loved being in the kitchen as a child when his mother was cooking. He was her taste tester, he says. He applied for and received his Food Services LLC in 2019 to start what is now known as Unc's Barbecue. In 2023, he married Sarah Bass. Since going into business, Mr. Miller has received several recognition awards for his barbecue, including Outstanding Customer Service Satisfaction for Online Reviews, Letters of Recognition for Best Barbecue in 2026 by Business Rate. Howard remembers as a kid with no money, and that's why he has no problem with giving back to help others. Howard gives back to his community by providing meals to sick, elderly, and anybody who needs a good meal but don't have the means to buy one. He gives God all the glory and honor and is grateful for all he is doing in life. Please help me in welcoming the July 2026 Citizen of the Month Award to Mr. Howard Miller, owner and operator. Now, Howard told me to let you guys know there's a, what's it called? A truck and
I do touch the trucks every year for the city of Muncie. We'll be doing it on the 10th, this Friday coming up.
And he will be out there, so if you want to get a taste of some good barbecue,
You're welcome to come on and get some. Or if you don't get none there, you're welcome to come by my barbecue establishment, and I'll bless you.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, thank you. 13, 15 these times. 13, 15 these times.
1315 East Hines.
There you go. I told you speak it to the mic.
call, please.
Present.
Here.
Present.
Here.
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 Present. Move on to the approval of minutes. We have a motion for,
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion, but I do have I would like to make a recommendation. Mrs. Veach's last name is misspelled. It needs to be V-A-C-H. And if we could amend that with that, I can make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
What's the correct spelling?
V-E-A-C-H. And
change the
it's,
spelling.
yeah, 4 times, 5 times.
Okay.
Thank you. With that, I would like to motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Make a motion to amend,
Yeah.
and then a
Yeah,
motion
motion.
to adopt as
Okay, yeah.
amended.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Clarification, we're voting on the amendment.
Correct.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
I so move
Second.
as amended.
And we have a second. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now we're moving on to appointments to boards and commissions. Muncie School Board, we need 3 recommendations this evening.
I would like to recommend Ms. Watasha Barnes Griffin as being one of the 3 recommendations from the council.
We have another.
Mr. President, I have a nomination for Dr. Lena Burkhart. Dr. Burkhart currently serves on Dr. Reynolds' CEO Advisory Council, a committee comprised of a parent representing students from each school. She's also the director of counseling practicum clinic in the Department of Counseling Psychology, Social Psychology, and Counseling at Ball State University. She has 2 children who attend Muncie Community Schools, and both will be at Central next year.
Mr. President, I have a
Yeah.
nomination
Yes.
for Sister Ashaki Goodall. And I'm hoping she's in the audience. She said she'd be here. There she is. If she wants to speak on her background, if you allow that, sir.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
are we seconding nominations? Because I would like to
We're,
second.
we're going to vote on.
Well,
Don't we need a second nominations?
I thought
I would
so.
like to second your nomination, Mr. Councilman McIntosh.
did Mike get a
Yeah,
second?
turn it.
I don't think anyone has.
We didn't yet. I'm letting her speak. Okay. I will second Mr. Basham's.
Okay.
I was going to say they didn't do nothing.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Councilperson
Yeah,
Okay, so we have 2 seconds.
yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, Council President and members of Muncie City Council. My name is Ashaki Goodall, and I am honored to be considered for nomination to serve on the Muncie Community Schools Board of Trustees. I currently serve as the Interim Executive Director of Motivate Our Minds, and I am the founder of AG Squared Group, where I work with school districts, educators, and workforce development organizations across the country to help young people prepare for college, careers, and life. For more than 30 years, I've dedicated my career to one guiding belief: every child deserves access to opportunities that help them discover their purpose, develop their potential, and build a future filled with possibility. My connection to Muncie is both personal and deeply rooted. Although I made Muncie my permanent home in 2023, this community has been part of my life for decades. Growing up, I spent many summers here and throughout my college years. I have long admired the resilience, the pride, and strong sense of community that makes Muncie such a special place. In many ways, moving here was not simply a relocation, but it was a homecoming for me. Muncie holds a special place in my family's story. My sister was born here. Both of my parents are Ball State University alumni who earned their master's degrees here and dedicated their careers to education. My mother went on to serve as a college history department dean on the East Coast. My uncle is also a Ball State alumni and currently serves as a sports journalist with the Associated Press. My grandmother graduated from Ball State University School of Nursing, and my grandfather, the late Hurley Goodall, was elected to the Muncie Community School Board in 1970, serving 2 four-year terms before continuing his public service as a state representative. Education transformed the lives of generations in my family, and those Muncie connections helped shape my own commitment to public service. They taught me that strong schools create opportunity, strengthen communities, and change the trajectory of lives. That belief has guided my career and is one of the reasons I am seeking the opportunity to serve the students, families, and community of Muncie today. If you don't know it, I am passionate about helping young people see possibilities beyond what they can currently imagine for themselves. I want every student to understand that what they are learning in school matters, not just for a test, not just for a grade, but for the life that they will build. Too often, students ask, why do I need to know this? And I believe it is our responsibility to help them find that answer. Reading, writing, communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and problem solving are not just academic skills. They are career skills. They are life skills. They are transferable skills that will serve students whether they become teachers, entrepreneurs, healthcare professionals, skilled tradespeople, engineers, artists, or community leaders. When students understand the why behind their learning and they can connect that classroom experience to their dreams and their aspirations, they become much more engaged, much more motivated, and more confident in their ability to succeed. If I am selected, I will bring educational leadership experience, a collaborative spirit, and an unwavering commitment to student success. Most importantly, I will bring a passion for helping Muncie students discover who they are, embrace what they are capable of becoming, and recognize that their education is a pathway to opportunity. My grandfather believed that when you invest in young people, you invest in the future of the community. Over 50 years ago, my grandfather answered that call to serve the students of Muncie. Today, I am asking for an opportunity to continue that tradition, not out of obligation, but out of a deep belief in the promise of our young people. I believe every student deserves to understand not only what they are learning, but why it matters, because when young people discover that purpose in their learning, they discover the real possibilities for their future. My grandfather's legacy in Muncie was about opening doors. If selected, my commitment is to help ensure that every student in Muncie Community Schools has the knowledge, the skills, the opportunities, the access, and the sense of purpose to walk through those doors. Thank you.
Thank you.
What issue would you like to speak, please?
Good evening, Council. Watasha Barnes Griffin, 308 North Mangrove Lane, Muncie, Indiana, 47303. You all have my information. I've sent it to you all, but just wanted to come and stand before you as the current sitting trustee member. I am super excited to be in this space. I thank you all for, in 2018, giving me the opportunity to be one of those considered for the role. And I don't take that lightly. as a woman leader, as a Black woman leader, education is important. I think you all know that. But I grew up on First in Macedonia, 5 Points, right? Just a girl with single parents. Mama was 17, daddy was 18 when they had me. So I graduated twice from Muncie Central. Did y'all didn't get that?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so but my day job is that I am the executive director of the YWCA Central Indiana. You all know that we have an emergency shelter program there. And not only am I the employer, but I'm a mom, a product of Muncie Community Schools, my children, my cousins, nieces, nephews, family, and friends. But the people that I serve every day, those children who find themselves unhoused, those kids who have been through neglect and just haven't had the chance. I see that, and I see what the power of education can do. And I see those mothers who are struggling to ensure that their kids have a better chance than they do. And so as I sit on this current trustee board, there are very specific specialties that we all have. And mine is simply community engagement, just to remind them of what marginalized communities look like, how the changes and the decisions that we make impact our lower resource communities. And I a fierce advocate for that. I don't think that every kid has to be going to college. I don't think every kid has to follow one specific path, but I do believe in that whatever it takes to get that kid to the next level, whether that's career CTE, whether that's just a solid work environment or college or the like we just want them to be educated. And I am proud of the work that we have done in the last several years. I mean, you know that we went from a deficit to having stabilized our financials. We have increased teacher compensation. We want to recruit and retain qualified teachers. We are being very strategic about going out to find those educators that can come to the district and help it continue to grow. We have even compensated, our support staff, admin team, right? We have done capital projects and we're doing facility infrastructures. Look at, Muncie Central, look at what we're doing, not just for athletics, but for academics. We saved almost $10 million this year with kids who go to Muncie Central who got their associates from Ivy Tech, right? So we have about 150 kids already going into the workforce with an associate's degree. And I can continue to name the things that we are doing. I am a person who is a believer of the public vote, right? And so when this school, when the state was decided to take us over, I was one that was like, nope, not for it. Nope, I would not apply to be, a part of this work. But then I thought, this is my community, right? This is the educational institution that raised me and my family. And so, if I'm selected, I'll go and I'll serve. And when I say I serve, I will serve. I'm not afraid to say the hard thing. When I'm in the room and I'm sitting at that table, there are 6 males and 2 females. But when I'm sitting at that table, I take my whole community in there with me. And I know you all know that it's, very specific types of work, and you don't see all of that on display in a meeting, but you can see it in our test scores. You can see it in, the awards that we win. You can see it in the Cradle to Career initiatives. You can see that we're really leaning deeply into having teachers and educators that look like all of us in our schools to work with the kids who need it most. And so I just beseech you on today, I'm asking that you consider me for a recommendation to Ball State University. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations from the council?
Mr. President, remind us, we are voting for 3 candidates to go to President Mearns
Yes.
and the board, and 1 will be selected.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Good.
Okay, so
So all those in favor, we have another one?
no, I was just gonna say, since there were only 3 candidates, do we need to go through
We'll just simply
this by acclamation?
acknowledge that we agree with that.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. So all 3 will be sent on.
Great candidates.
We have 1 appointment to the Opioid Advisory Committee. have a nomination for that? Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. President, I would like to renominate Corey Matters back onto this board. When we set this up, we had to stagger people. So he's just been on there for 1 year. So, and he is interested in continuing to serve.
I would like to,
Any other nominations?
May I ask a question? In the packet, it indicated that this committee is to be politically balanced. Do we know what political balance we're trying to achieve here? Are we selecting a Republican or a Democrat to make it politically balanced? Do we know that? It was not indicated in the.
Yeah, I can't speak to Mr. Matter's political affiliation, but if he was on it and it was balanced before, I
Yes,
guess
and I guess
Yeah.
kind of clarifies that.
7 members, no more than 4 of any party.
Oh.
Are there any other nominations? Okay. Signify by saying aye, those that agree with this.
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Moving on to committee reports.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I have one for the Youth Center Committee. We met on June 2nd, no, not 2nd, but yeah, June 29th. The meeting we had, we were trying to do the best. We got to remember we're in the infancy of still trying to get this committee together. And things that we were trying to discuss and find out how we're going to handle this situation with the current mayor not being there and the deputy mayor there was questions he could not answer, and decided that we should get our bylaws drawn up first so we can move forward. But I do want to remind everyone that in the first meeting of May 29th, we were told that that money was going to go at the Mock Church, which was not stated in the beginning, is what I was really passionate about because I thought it was going to be in the industry where it said. Last meeting, the council unanimously voted that we put it in an industry neighborhood. How this is going to come about, I still don't know. Like I said, we're still in the infancy of it. So that's all I can really say on it at this time. So,
Thank you. We have,
okay, Mr. President, the
Yes.
Tax Abatement Committee met today, July 6th at 6:30 here in City Council, and it was, the committee was, Mr. Mason, Mr. Harold Mason is a member, and Mr. Jeff Green is a member, and myself. And we had a short presentation from Estimo Indiana Inc. And we listened to their presentation, and then we followed that by questions. Both of my colleagues gave a favorable recommendation for it to come in front of the council, and so do I. They will have we are just an advisory board, and they will come in front of the council, the whole council makes that decision, and they will present their full presentations, and every council member would be able to ask questions. So I want to advise my colleagues that we did, as a committee, give them a favorable recommendation. Thank you.
thank you.
Ask a question of one of the committee chairs. Is that
Yeah.
allowed? Finance Chair, Councilman Basham. The pre-budget worksheet was completed. Did you receive the information from that?
I have not.
Okay, and the budget workshop is scheduled. Do you have that date?
Yes, I
What-
do.
What is that date?
Let me see here. Do you have that date?
It's in the office.
Okay.
Okay. Will you either email out or in the public, bring a report from that meeting?
Sure, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
I appreciate that. All right, thank you.
Mr. Dishman, you have the committee report.
Yes. On June 26th at 6 PM in this auditorium, the Public Services Committee met, and Sarah Gullion led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We had roll call. Jeff Green was there, and Sarah Gullion and myself was there. And we started off with a presentation from Greg Martz from GM Development. He gave a pretty good, real nice presentation, which he might give it tonight if the President Green lets him do it. And Sarah Gullion asked a lot of questions about where the temporary building was going to be at, and if the 400,000 is going to be reimbursed for the building that they're going to put up. And Chief Burford says that it wasn't. It's part of the deal for them using the property. And also she asked about the size of the building and how many people are going to be in it, and a few other questions like that. Then we went on to Jeff Green. Jeff Green asked a couple of questions about the budget. Of course, nobody was there for the budget, so we have to wait till the night for people to ask those questions. And I asked some questions about if it was going to be a 2-story building, and they said that yes, it was. And it was going to have a stairway, and they said yes. And I said, is it going to have the pole like the fire departments usually have when they have 2-story? And he said yes. And I think Sarah asked about the quarters for the men and the women, and he said there's going to be about 10 in there. And I think Sarah asked why so many, and he told her that there would be other EMTs there staying and learning EMTs, and place where they can park the ambulances and stuff in there, in the garage and stuff. But it was a pretty productive meeting. It lasted almost 2 hours. And there was about 12 people in the public that showed up for it. And overall, I was satisfied with, other than no one was here for the budget part of it, but they're supposed to be here tonight. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. That's his committee. It's not
I'm not
necessary.
read it. I just got it.
But we can pass it out as long as they all have copies. Any other committee reports?
I don't have a committee report. Go ahead.
I think that the opioid,
Jerry, was a recommendation?
Was
Give
there
it
a recommendation?
positive or negative?
No,
No recommendation?
no recommendation.
just want to remind you that the Ethics Committee wanted to speak.
Yes. they wanted to
Yes,
speak.
good evening. My name is Sandra Whitaker, and I am currently serving on the Ethics Commission as Vice Chair. And we'd like to announce that the commission will hold a public meeting this Wednesday, July 8th at 5:30 in the Muncie Sanitary District Conference Room.
Good evening. I'm Susan Dillon. I'm serving as Chair of the Muncie Ethics Commission. We're here just to remind you that you do have a Muncie Ethics Commission, and we are working hard to do what we've been commissioned to do, which is increasing transparency and trust in our local government. This is an open invitation for you to come and see us in action on Wednesday evening. But we also want to encourage you, if you don't make it to our meetings, check out the portal through the Ethics Commission portal. See what we're doing. If you have questions, approach us. If you have something that you'd like us to help you with, let us know, because we're here to serve you And finally, we just want to thank you for the opportunity to serve you all in this fashion.
Thank you. Could you remind us again the time on Wednesday?
5:30.
5:30. Thank you. Any other commissions, committee reports?
I have no committee report. I was just going to ask if I could direct a question to our legal counsel.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Anderson, could you clarify for the people who are here with one of our members absent, what will happen if a vote is a tie?
If it's a tie, it's
If something came up 4-4, what would
Yeah.
that mean for that piece of legislation?
it's failed.
Okay.
Because there's not a majority. So anything that requires a majority vote, the Muncie ordinance says that that majority has to be of the council, not of the members that are present. So a 4-4 vote would be a fail. That doesn't necessarily kick that into the 1-year prohibition on bringing something back, but it would be in terms of a vote for this evening, fail.
Thank you.
And I would say that the minutes should reflect that that the failure was due to the tie vote and not that it was not adopted.
I just wanted to make sure that council and that the public was aware of that situation.
Okay, moving on. Ordinances previously introduced.
Ordinance 10-26 and
926. Ordinance 926.
ordinance
Is the
9.
first one. Yeah. It was introduced last month. It was.
Yeah, so 926, since it was in committee, it needs a majority vote it was voted into a committee. It needs a majority vote to come out of the committee. And then it was introduced, but it was sent to a committee. So it's going to need a majority vote from council to come out.
So how's that stated then this evening in order to do that?
That somebody needs to make a motion to bring that out of the committee. And a second, and then a roll call vote. And then it can come back up for a vote for adoption.
May I ask a question? Can we not discuss it until that's been done? No discussion, I would imagine, until it's been put out there.
Well, what's still with the committee, and so to have any kind of discussion, it needs to be brought out of the committee, or the committee can continue its discussion if it doesn't have a majority vote to come out.
Entertain.
May I,
motion in our committee. Yes.
Mr. President, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Again, if a motion and a second is offered and it is to bring it out of committee and it's a 4-4 vote, it remains in committee. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we'll entertain a motion to bring out of committee ordinance 9-26.
With that said, I will request ordinance 9-26 to be taken out of committee so we can discuss it.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Roll call.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
No. Yes.
Yes.
So it stays in committee. Okay.
So it stays in committee. Moving on to ordinance 10-26.
Ordinance,
Out there. She turned it. Go ahead.
ordinance. That's okay. Sure you- Ordinance ordinance 10-26, an ordinance for additional appropriation, Muncie Police Department.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 10-26.
We have a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
do we need to amend a piece? Do we need to amend this ordinance noting that the first whereas needs to be amended to read Muncie Police Department instead of Muncie Fire Department?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
So you
I
just-
make that motion.
okay,
I'll
you-
second that.
And then vote on that.
Yeah.
Those in favor of changing the wording from the Muncie Fire Department to the Muncie Police Department? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 10-26 as amended.
I second that.
Roll call.
Is there any discussion? No?
No
You-
discussion.
Did you ask for discussion or
No, he did not.
comment? Okay. I don't think you, for discussion or comment. You voted on the amendment, correct? So it's
Right.
amended and now. You've already had a vote to adopt in a second, so it's got to be opened up.
Open for discussion. Any questions from council or anyone concerning ordinance 10-26?
Mr. President, I would just like to make the comment to the public that this is actually just a housekeeping ordinance. This was because of a kick out in Gateway, Fund 105 and 106, which pertain to our local income taxes for our police and fire departments, were inadvertently kicked out of Gateway. So this is just putting the money back into those budgets that we appropriated last year. So these are housekeeping issues.
Mr. President, I do, and legal, I do have a concern. I do believe that Mr. Jagan has turned in his resignation, correct, Mr.
Yes.
Jagan? And I think we forgot to do that at the beginning, so I would like
Oh.
to bring that.
Well,
Can we
finish this and then.
Yeah.
and then-
Okay.
yeah.
And then we'll do, okay. So that's what I'm planning to do, accept
Okay,
yours.
yeah.
Thank
Like maybe
you.
after the previously introduced
Okay,
ordinance, just wait to get
just want
through
to make
this
sure. Okay,
class and then, yeah.
okay, thank you
I'll be
so
here all
much.
night though.
Yes.
Signing autographs, right?
Yeah.
Any questions on ordinance 10-26 from council or from the audience?
Ms. Powell
Roll call.
explained it. Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. Well, unfortunately, our legal counsel is going to be leaving us after this meeting tonight. So we have to come up with new legal counsel. And we do have opportunity to nominate legal counsel this evening for our next meeting in August. So we'd like to know if there are any nominations from council for legal.
I would like to, counsel, I would like to nominate Mr. Brandon Murphy as our legal counsel. Mr. Murphy has served the council before for a short period of time, so that is my nomination.
I would second that.
Any other nominations? Hearing and seeing none. I guess signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr. Murphy will be our new legal counsel.
Congratulations, Mr. Murphy.
No.
And congratulations to Attorney Arnold for his new job.
Thank you. Thank you. And you'll be in perfectly capable hands.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, ordinance 11-26.
Ordinance 11-26, an ordinance for additional appropriation, Muncie Fire Department.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 11-26.
We have a second.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Questions from council or audience? Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving to ordinance 12-26.
Ordinance 12-26 being an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the R2 Residence Zone to the BV Variety Business Zone on premises located at 4600 North Wheeling Avenue, Muncie, Indiana.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 12-26.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion concerning this? Questions from council or audience?
I'm all in favor of this ordinance, vote and move forward, but the public's asking if Council President Green could speak up because they're not being able to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions concerning ordinance 12-26? Seeing and hearing none. We've had first and second. The roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. New ordinances. Ordinance 13-26.
Ordinance 13-26 being an ordinance to amend the text of the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance regarding a new McKinley Neighborhood Overlay District.
President, I move that we introduce ordinance 13-26.
I'd like to second that.
Okay. Yeah. Questions? Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Council. Kylene Swackhammer from the Planning Commission. This is a consideration for an addition to the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to establish an overlay district designated as the McKinley Overlay District, outlined in the presented language with tailored regulations in an effort to guide future development. This application comes out of a grassroots-led initiative to protect, preserve, and promote the unique character and sense of place of the McKinley neighborhood. The overlay district regulations would set appropriate design standards of similar quality, require consistent yet complementary designs, and capitalize on the area's current assets. One goal is to incorporate the historic fabric of the neighborhood while setting high-quality benchmarks for attracting new and exciting development. The organized group leading this consideration drew upon the existing overlay districts, the Village Review District, and the White River Canal District. These current overlays have been in effect since 2013 and 2018, respectively. The McKinley Live, Learn, Redevelopment Opportunities Plan, Comprehensive Revitalization Vision, and Design Guidelines also provide strong backing to this proposal. The proposal consists of 6 areas with unique purpose and intents and includes regulations for streetscapes, lighting, awnings, signage, landscaping, building forms, design, materials, fencing, parking, and mixed-use opportunities, just to name a few. These guidelines would promote a vibrant and unique mix of residential and commercial development with a strong pedestrian-friendly, village-like atmosphere. A DMMPC planner reviewed and offered suggestions on the initial draft proposal, and those suggestions were incorporated into the draft prior to the Plan Commission meeting. The DMMPC received 21 letters of support for the proposal and no letters in opposition. The Plan Commission gave a favorable recommendation with a vote of 8-0 with 1 absence, with the addition of a maximum fence height of 8 feet for a privacy fence and 6 feet for a trash screening, and that recommendation was incorporated into the draft that you received. Rebecca Hanna, one of the committee members that worked on drafting the proposal, will present the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Hanna. Thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. Before we begin, I would like to recognize the team that helped draft this ordinance we are presenting today. These individuals have dedicated countless hours over the past several months to develop a proposal that reflects the values, needs, and aspirations of the McKinley neighborhood. Bruce Rector is the president of the McKinley Neighborhood Association. Rachel Robertson is the vice president of the McKinley Neighborhood Association. Bill Inman was a neighborhood association member and 20-year resident. Joe Robertson is a neighborhood association member and 20-plus year resident. Bill Lett is a neighborhood investor, developer, and owner of Seven Rock Brew and Elm Street Brewing Company. Jonathan Chambliss of Crew Construction, neighborhood investor and developer. Phil Tevis, landscape architect, neighborhood investor, and owner of Flatland Resources. And I'm Rebecca Hanna. I'm a realtor and McKinley neighborhood advocate. This ordinance was developed through collaboration among residents, business owners, developers, real estate professionals, and planning experts who share a common interest in the future of the McKinley neighborhood. We also benefited from the advice, feedback, and support of many neighbors and community stakeholders, as well as key figures throughout the process. At this time, I'd like to introduce Phil Tevis. Phil will provide a brief history on the neighborhood and discuss the investment, revitalization efforts, and community support that have helped shape McKinley's growth and success over the years.
Good evening. I have to plug this in and get everything rolling. Okay, here we go. So my job is to give a little bit of history lesson. This on the screen here is from the Muncie Action Plan in 2009. Some of us may have participated in that. It was actually one of the largest public attended community events in the city. About 3,000 people came and gave their opinion on the future of our community. And if you look at one of the exercises they did at the end of each one was to say, please take a green dot and a red dot and place it on a map and tell us where's the best place in our town and where's the not so good places. And you can see that on the map. The red dot areas came out with, in no specific order, Whiteley, Industry, East Central and the Blaine area, Thomas Avondale, the Old West End, and the McKinley neighborhood, and that's the focus of our conversation. I do want to point out that we've learned over the years that Ball Brothers Foundation continues to use this map to ask if they are succeeding in their place-based initiatives or quality of place. Examples of that would go in Whiteley is the Craddock Wetland, the Kitsilman Trailhead on the east side of town, the Ross Community Center and Thomas Avondale, or the whole 812 Coalition area. On the Old West End, there's the eco rehab initiatives and some of the new work with the land bank. And in the McKinley area, it's the Y and relationships to the athletic facilities at the high school. Now back to the history lesson. If we hear, this is actually a graph that shows our population in our metro area. On the left-hand side is 1998, and on the right-hand side is 2017. So I'm going to give context to this as to what's happened and why the McKinley neighborhood and other areas in our community have suffered from decline. So 1998, Ball Corporation leaves. So that takes about 200 Fortune 500 executives out of our community. In 2002, Indiana Steel and Wire left. 2005, Katrina happens, and I'm going to explain why that matters in a minute. 2006, Chevy Transmission leaves. 2008, we had the great financial crisis. 2009, Borg Warner closes. 2011, the sanitary district's given a mandate to do sewer separations. And in 2017, we had the financial collapse of the Muncie school system. That all translates to a decline in 2021, and we've had a slight uptick in our population. The one thing that everyone asks when we make this portion is, why did the population rise after Ball Corp left? And why does the population rise after 2008 and the financial crisis? That is directly associated with the increase of population at Ball State University. So once you take that out, we have a trend downward in population. So how does this apply to the McKinley or the Central City area? This is the White River. McKinley's there in the center. The McKinley area along everything inside or down on that screen of the red line is protected by the Muncie Flood Protection System. The Muncie Flood Protection System is controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers. After the Katrina incident happened, they came to cities all across the country, including Muncie, and said you have to upgrade your levees to the Katrina standard, post-Katrina. That's translated into probably almost 15 years of effort. There's a lot more to go on. But the sanitary district did prioritize where to focus their efforts. And initially it was the area here because the net worth of the area is about $500 million. And that includes the Central High School, some of the academy of the area in that side of town. The areas that are, some of the things that are messed up are the railroad tracks at CSX, the railroad track at Norfolk Southern over by Phillips Pool, the pipe and the levee and some bridge over by the McCullough Trailhead, and another pipe underneath the high school there at High Street and Wheeling Avenue. So we go now to the sewer separation obligations. And I'm sure you guys, Audie would know this, the life cycle of a sewer is about 75 to 80 years. A lot of the sewers in the central city are older than that. When the mandate came to separate the area out inside the McKinley neighborhood, that translated to what does a sanitary district do when they typically try to make quality of place improvements at the same time they're doing sewer separation. And there are many examples of that across the community. And that pipe actually right there is on Columbus Avenue. It was open this year and was still being used as a sewer. The impact to the neighborhood for McKinley in the evaluation of knowing that there had to be a levee improvements, a stormwater basin, sewer separation, a whole lot of things. The sanitary district looked really hard to determine what was the impact of the neighborhood. The McKinley neighborhood about 2014 had the highest EMS runs per half block of anywhere in the community. Had extreme high demographic of 25-year-old males with no high school education. 90% of the homes were rentals or in extreme disrepair, vacant or blighted. It had the highest proportional tax sales of anywhere in the community. And all of this is directly across the street from our high school. So the sanitary district, along with the community development, along with the blight elimination program, made a decision that it would be most cost effective to see if they could eliminate homes in the neighborhood, because that red dot, if you remember, is in the center. It's in the heart of the city, directly across from the high school. This green represents the area of homes that have been removed. This is the number of structures. In 2012, there were 240 structures. Today, there's about 125. The outcome of that much loss, and here's an example of quality of place through the sanitary district, through a grant they got with the DNR. They put a levee trail on top of the levee as a part of the levee reconstruction work. So what does that translate to? From 2014, there's a sheet in your packet. It shows that our community, including the school system, schools, the blight elimination, sanitary district, private investment is about $113 million in the McKinley neighborhood proper. Now that's affecting other areas because the sewers there affect the rest of the system, but it's still an investment that's in there. Of that, there's about $38.5 million in private investment. And to where that, you might want to know, Walnut Commons was 8.4, Crew Construction, 2 million. Elm Street's about 2 million. The commercial building stabilization's about 800,000. Home remodels, which have happened completely, are about $500,000. And the new Trails Edge plan project for the retirement facility is 24.8 million. Examples of what this looks like. This is prior to the homes being removed. This is what it looks like today. That is a dedicated green space for a public park. Here is the corner of Columbus and Jefferson. Today that it looks like this, ready for redevelopment. This is looking south on Elm Street towards the levees. Today that is an open area. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to the person who's actually going to explain the ordinance itself, and that is Joe Roberts. Thank you.
Hello.
Evening.
My name is Joe Robertson, 608 North Elm Street. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Over the past several months, much of the conversation surrounding McKinley has focused on its future. Residents have consistently said they welcome growth and investment. What they want is growth that aligns with the long-term vision that has been shaped through decades of planning, investment, and neighborhood involvement. Throughout this process, residents have repeatedly expressed support for earlier awareness of proposed projects, better communication and transparency, and protecting existing public and private investment. In a 2022 initiative through the Next Muncie initiative, residents participated in a master planning process led by the mayor and Vanderwall Associates. That plan was ultimately adopted by the McKinley Neighborhood Association and established a shared vision for the future of the community. That plan included many of the same principles reflected in the overlay today: walkability, mixed use, front porches, gabled roofs, and neighborhood scale design. These ideas are not new. The overlay does not create a new vision. It creates a way to implement the vision that already exists. McKinley already has several important pieces in place. We have an adopted master plan, design guidelines, community support, and both public and private investment already happening in McKinley. What's missing is the implementation tool to carry that vision forward in a consistent way. Right now, there is not a formal local review body, a structured review process, or a clear accountability measure to help ensure future projects align with the vision residents have already supported. Without that structure, the risk is that future projects may become misaligned. Long-term value may be harder to protect, and the momentum built over the past decade could become lost. So the purpose of the overlay is not to start over. The purpose is to close the gap between the vision the neighborhood already has and the tools needed to implement it. To address that gap, the neighborhood began exploring an overlay district. Like other overlays already operating in Muncie, the McKinley overlay would establish standards tailored to the character and long-term vision of the neighborhood. It would also create a more transparent review process that encourages earlier communication, better project awareness, and more opportunities for collaboration between residents, developers, and city leadership. The goal is simple: clearer expectations with fewer surprises for everyone involved. It's important to clarify what the overlay is and what it's not. The overlay is not anti-development. It's not an HOA or a tool to delay projects, a way to control project finances, or a requirement that every building look the same. What it does create is a clearer and more predictable process. It focuses on neighborhood compatibility, design standards, and communication. The goal is not to stop growth. The goal is to help guide growth well. One of the strengths of the overlay is that it recognizes different parts of McKinley serve different purposes. The overlay district contains 6 distinct areas, each aligned with underlying zoning. Area 1 is the river levee, and the development here is already highly restricted due to flood control and levee requirements, so no overlay review is needed in this area. Area 2 is public green space, which includes the recreational park and the retention pond. These areas require no overlay for those areas. Area 3 is education, and this supports the investments like Muncie Central High School and the YMCA. And Area 4 is mixed use, high density residential, encouraging compatible residential redevelopment. Area 5 is residential rehabilitation, focusing on protecting and stabilizing existing housing. And Area 6 is mixed use, high density commercial and residential, supporting redevelopment and economic activity along key corridors. Rather than treating every area the same, the overlay creates a coordinated framework that ties these areas together into a long-term redevelopment strategy. The overlay includes design principles intended to strengthen neighborhood character, walkability, and long-term value. These standards focus on neighborhood scale and compatibility, front porches and street-facing design, gabled roofs and traditional neighborhood features, durable, long-lasting materials, walkability, and pedestrian safety. These aren't intended to limit creativity. They are intended to help ensure new development contributes positively to the neighborhood and builds long-term value for residents, businesses, and property owners. This overlay benefits more than just the neighborhood. It also benefits developers, investors, and the city. One of the greatest advantages is predictability. Developers understand expectations earlier in the process, reducing uncertainty, improving communication, and helping projects move forward more efficiently. The overlay also provides practical flexibility through more adaptable setbacks and smarter parking standards. Walnut Commons, shown here, is a good example. Under the current city code, the development was required to provide roughly 80 parking spaces. Under the proposed overlay standards, that requirement would have been reduced by nearly half. In practice, the parking lot is rarely full, and a significant number of spaces remain unused on a regular basis. The additional parking requirement added cost to the project and devoted valuable land to pavement that was not ultimately needed. Under the overlay, that land could have been used more efficiently for green space, amenities, additional housing, or other community benefits. The overlay also creates consistency. Every developer works from the same set of expectations, creating a level playing field and helping protect long-term property values. Just as importantly, it helps protect the significant public and private investment already made throughout McKinley. More than $110 million in public and private investment has occurred in and around the neighborhood over the past 2 decades. The overlay helps build on that momentum rather than leaving it to chance. Ultimately, this proposal is about balancing quality development with practical flexibility. When expectations are clear and standards are realistic, residents, developers, investors, and the city can move forward together with confidence. When everyone is working towards the same vision, all ships rise together. The downtown facade blitz showed what happens when good design standards are encouraged. By removing blank facade materials, original windows and architectural details were restored, creating more attractive and engaging buildings. The overlay promotes these same principles along business corridors, active storefronts, more windows, and quality building design that strengthens both property values and neighborhood character. Tonight, we are asking for your partnership and support as we move an already adopted vision into implementation. Respectfully, we ask the City Council to approve and adopt the McKinley Neighborhood Overlay District, establish the McKinley Neighborhood Review Committee, and protect decades of planning, investment, and community engagement. The vision already exists. The overlay simply provides the framework needed to carry that vision forward. I'd like to now have Bill Inman come up and he'll read 2 letters of support.
Good evening, I'm Bill Inman, and I live at 654 North Elm, and I work at 652 North Elm. And I'm going to read 2 of the many letters of support that we received for this overlay. Dear Kylene, I am unable to attend your meeting on June 4th due to a medical procedure, but wanted to provide a letter on the topic. I, as mayor and the city of Muncie, are in full support of the McKinley Neighborhood Overlay District. The mayor's edit account authorized and funded the McKinley District Design Guideline standards a few years ago. These guidelines are the development standards that provided guidance for the overlay standards. Development has already begun in the neighborhood, which is exciting. The city, on any property we owned, has required developers follow the construction guidelines for buildings to meet those goals. This development includes, but is not limited to, the beautiful townhouses by Crew Construction across from Muncie Central that are nearing completion. As an important note, there has been a project management team meeting on this redevelopment for more than 8 years. This PMT, which includes representatives of Minnetrista, Chamber, City, and McKinley neighborhood leadership, meets monthly. That group has been given input, which helped shape the design standards for this overlay district. We're pleased to see this move forward. And that is Mayor Dan Ridenour. This letter is from Jeffrey Howe, the President of Muncie Redevelopment Commission. As director of the Muncie Redevelopment Commission, I am writing in support of the proposed McKinley Neighborhood Overlay District. The Redevelopment Commission recently entered into an economic development agreement with a developer to construct 32 housing units in the McKinley neighborhood, including townhouses and duplexes. Throughout the planning process, the City and Redevelopment Commission have emphasized the importance of ensuring that the project reflects the character and vision established by the neighborhood. To achieve this goal, the Economic Development Agreement incorporates applicable design and development standards directly taken from the McKinley Neighborhood Guidelines. By including these standards in the agreement, they become enforceable project requirements and provide a clear mechanism for ensuring compliance throughout development. The proposed overlay district represents a logical and positive next step in advancing the neighborhood's long-term mission or vision. It would provide greater clarity and predictability for residents, property owners, developers, and city officials by establishing a consistent framework for future development and redevelopment within the neighborhood. Most importantly, the overlay district would make neighborhood standards enforceable through the development review process, helping ensure that future projects remain aligned with the character and development objectives identified by the community. This added level of certainty benefits both residents and developers by creating clear expectations and a transparent review process. The overlay district also complements the current housing project by reinforcing many of the same design principles and development expectations already incorporated into the Economic Development Agreement. Together, these tools can promote quality development, preserve neighborhood character, and support much needed housing opportunities within the community. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Jeffrey Howe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm Bruce Rector, president of the McKinley Live Learn Neighborhood Association, and have been president since 2018. From a historical perspective, I was born in Muncie, started kindergarten at McKinley Elementary School, returned to the McKinley neighborhood in the late 60s while I attended Ball State. I returned to the neighborhood again in 1985 and have been here ever since. In 2018, I became a member of the McKinley Neighborhood Project Management Team of Next Muncie. The meetings were organized by Van Wally and Associates, who have been working on revitalization of the McKinley neighborhood, including master planning. Around 2022, the neighborhood was rezoned to reflect the master planning process. In 2024, Van der Walle and Associates finalized a master plan for the neighborhood, which was presented to the PMT, which the committee endorsed. The mayor also hired Van der Walle and Associates to create design guidelines that have been used in the new townhomes in the future of Columbus Avenue. The guidelines were completed in 2025. The master plan and guidelines were adopted by the McKinley Neighborhood Association in 2026 and served as a central part of the creation of the McKinley Neighborhood Overlay District. The purpose of the overlay is to ensure design guidelines, establish architectural, site, and sustainability standards applicable to the development and redevelopment within the district. The McKinley Neighborhood Association strongly endorses the creation of the overlay district for the McKinley neighborhood. In fact, an ad hoc group of landowners, developers, homeowners worked voluntarily together for the past few months to create the draft for the overlay design. The neighborhood was very pleased with Mayor Rittenhour's and his administration's efforts to help revitalize the neighborhood. The mayor has endorsed the overlay district for the McKinley neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Rachel Robertson, and I'm the last one of our presentations, and I'll keep it short. I'm Rachel Robertson, I'm Vice President of McKinley Neighborhood. My husband and I have lived in the neighborhood for 22 years, and this has been something very close to our passion for the last several years. You've seen and heard that there's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of people that have been involved. There's a lot of support. But one thing I want to point out is just as important as our committee's work, ensuring that residents had a voice in this process. We held special meetings. We shared information through the neighborhood by knocking on every single door. We distributed information, and we actively sought feedback from residents and property owners. And the response was clear. We collected 50 signed petitions supporting the overlay ordinance from a neighborhood of approximately 120 homes. So through the process, we welcomed questions, discussions, support remained overwhelmingly favorable, and residents consistently expressed a desire for reasonable design standards. So given the extensive public engagement, the support from the mayor and Jeff Howe, Acting Mayor Jeff Howe, the strong neighborhood support, and the unanimous favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission, I respectfully ask the council to approve the McKinley Overlay Ordinance. And I also ask that tonight, if you would suspend the rules and allow a vote this evening for final adoption. So we appreciate your time, your consideration, your service to the community, and anybody from the committee would be happy to take any questions that you have tonight too.
Any questions from the council tonight?
Mr. President, well, that was 101, how to introduce an ordinance. Let me ask specifically for you to clarify the how the overlay primarily residential standards impacts Muncie Community Schools, the YMCA, and then even the field house's ability to make additions without, although Dr. Reynolds did write a letter of support. I'd like you to describe for us how that is going to work.
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. We've been working with Jim Lowe for quite some ordinance to make sure that the school and the Y would be satisfied with the ordinance. One of the great benefits to the ordinance for the school is the reduction of parking needed at the field house if they were to ever pull a building permit in the future. It reduces it by about 30%. The Y has already been through the ordinance, so that's not applicable there. Everything else, the standard, the setback is 75 feet for commercial property that would apply to the school. That's the same distance that the building, any building is 75 feet would be with the exception of the Y, who got an ordinance for that. So those are probably the two big things that would help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Any from the audience?
Christopher Bilbrey. I just want to say that I'm very happy and I'm proud to see the residents of Muncie coming together and speaking out for this. I've been paying attention to this for a while in the Muncie Redevelopment Commission meetings, and I do not live in this area. However, I'm coming to you to speak in favor of this ordinance. I am not normally in favor of the council suspending rules and introducing and then passing something in the same night. However, as we know, there are certain instances where that is something that is needed. There have been many involved, either residents, stakeholders, property owners, and people from the city and elsewhere working on revitalizing this neighborhood for many, many years, and everything has seemed pretty okay. But recently, there's been some kind of a breakdown, and there have been some issues, and that's kind of pitted, from my perspective, some of those stakeholders, residents, against folks in the mayor's office or the MRC. However, this ordinance is overwhelmingly supported by both of those sides. So as a viewer, a commentator, and somebody watching from the outside, I would ask you to suspend the rules, to introduce this, vote, and then suspend the rules to pass this evening so this can be in place. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak tonight on order 1326?
I just have a comment.
Yes.
In general, one thing that I think is amazing about Muncie are the neighborhood associations and the neighborhood. They work so hard to improve, to improve where they live and where they work. And not too many communities have that. So it is a blessing. And I'm grateful for every community or neighborhood association and all the hard work that they do to improve the city as a whole. Thank you.
Any other council members with questions? I do have a question for your group tonight. What is the purpose of suspending the rules? What will you gain in 30 days that you wouldn't if we didn't? You have projects that are started or
We are just overwhelmed by the amount of support that we received from this. I think, you know, like Christopher said, we have support from the city, we have support from our neighbors. You know, we feel like McKinley is very ripe for development, that, you know, things are coming. And so we would really be excited to get this going as soon as possible. You know, the process to develop a review committee is going to be part of, you know, the time that it takes. And so if we could have something in place sooner than later, we would appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Yep, Mr. McIntosh.
I probably could answer that because you got all this support. So why not? There's cases where we can do it.
Yep.
Let's just do it.
Yep, I agree with Mr. McIntosh.
I'm making a motion.
Yep, good job. I'll second that.
Just see if you have unanimous consent, and then you're good.
So-
If not, take a roll call vote and see if you get 2/3.
So to clarify, if I may, I just need to understand what I'm voting on, and I think others might appreciate that too. We are not just voting on the ordinance itself, but we're also voting on expediting it
Yes.
and
Well, it's two
suspending the
separate
rules.
votes. You have to
Yep.
vote to suspend the rules and then vote to
Then do
adopt.
that. One at a
Okay,
time.
so we have, okay, good.
If you're voting to suspend the rules, I think we can all guess what the
Okay,
outcome is going
perfect.
to
I
be.
just
but
wanted to
do
be
it
clear.
So the first vote will be to suspend the rules this evening. We have a,
Point of order, Are we isn't the first vote to actually introduce the
Introduce it.
ordinance?
Yes, that's my,
Yes.
yeah, that's my,
Okay.
that's my,
but we didn't vote on it.
We didn't
No.
vote on introduction.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for further clarifying.
All right,
That was the answer. I was
to introduce this evening. We've got a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 I'm sorry.
You gonna ask?
I didn't hear what you said.
You
Cool.
Would you like
No, I need
to make motion to suspend?
Yes. So you wanted the same motion from me?
Say it again.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. McIntosh.
I'll second that.
Second.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Congratulations.
We need to make a motion to adopt
we need to do the adoption. now.
ordinance 13-26.
So moved.
Somebody make
Okay, we have
Second.
I gotta make
we
a
have a
call.
first and a second.
Thank you.
Count that in. You get that? Okay. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Congratulations.
Next, new ordinance, ordinance 14-26.
Ordinance 14-26, an ordinance of the city of Muncie prohibiting department heads from serving on certain boards and commissions and establishing ethics and conflict of interest standards.
Make a motion that we adopt this.
Second, we have a motion for introduction
And second.
and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to kind of read it.
Can't hear you, man.
Go ahead.
Can't hear you.
Being that this ordinance was sponsored by myself, this ordinance is being proposed to explicitly prevent the mayor and future mayors from appointing department heads of his or her own staff to boards and commissions in order to preserve the integrity, impartiality, and public trust in our city's governance. When the mayor appoints a member of his own staff, it creates a clear conflict of interest. Those staff members may feel pressured to align with the mayor's agenda rather than acting independently in the public's interest. By enacting this ordinance, It will ensure that appointments to these critical positions are made on basis of merit and independence and the broader public good rather than personal loyalty. This step is vital to safeguarding democratic principles, fostering public confidence, and preventing undue influence in our city's governance structures. I respectfully ask for your support in voting yes for this ordinance.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Sarah?
I've got a question. I'm not sure why we wouldn't have this as all administrative staff, or, all staff from rather than just department heads. If we're talking about, possible conflicts, then I don't know why somebody who worked for a department head, there's could still be that kind of pressure or whatever, or feelings of pressure, even if it's not really there. So I guess I would say, why don't, I'm going to make a motion to amend it to include, I guess, administrative department staff also, like.
I'll second it.
Second. Hold on a second. Let's be clear
So maybe,
where your amendment would,
I guess,
in the eligibility.
where is it? Where it
You may have
says,
to add an actual extra.
Department head.
yeah, where it says department heads, it would say department heads and administration department staff, administrative department staff, something.
Administrative officer.
What is it? I know it's in there.
Just for clarification, Council Person Gullion, are you saying department heads and anyone that is appointed by the mayor?
Not appointed, but any staff underneath those department heads, I guess.
So for instance, superintendent and then a working foreman or something along those
Right.
lines? Okay.
Yes,
In
yes.
the city employees.
Would it then include all city employees or
Yeah. Should.
No, it shouldn't.
except where required by city ordinance?
Or state statute.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do that.
I mean, if we're looking for, getting rid of any conflicts of interest, then.
Correct.
yeah.
I do have a question for,
Yes.
may I? Councilwoman Gullion. What worries me about that is that you are taking away a lot of expertise from those positions, because sometimes, like, for example, with the neighborhood association today, like, they had like many good questions, and sometimes people, not necessarily department heads that work in that office, would be able to make recommendation, explain
Well, and that's.
things, and speed up things for neighborhoods.
Well, and that's something, because I saw in here that it says, it talks about ex officio. And I'm thinking maybe we need to change that a little bit, because you're right, sometimes, and it does say in here if it's required by statute, I think somewhere. But I would also say that maybe we can, change the ex officio a bit, because sometimes you do need somebody, a non-voting member
Yeah.
who has the expertise. I would be okay with non-voting.
Yeah.
So I would like to make an amendment too for that.
Let's
but-
take it,
First Amendment
let's keep them in
Okay, let's-
order.
So,
And clarify
yeah. Can we have some
your
clarification on that
amendment.
Amendment.
Because I don't know that it really fits into section 1A. I think you would almost need to add in another subsection under eligibility, or you can fit executive administrative staff into the definition of department head if you want,
May I say something?
but that's what you're referring to essentially as executive administrative staff,
Not just administrative, but just all of
executive staff.
not just but I would say city employees. I mean, anybody, because everyone's working under one of those department heads, right, in some capacity.
Would you say that, pardon me, Mr. President?
Just a minute, let's see if he answers what she asked.
That's good.
So
What was the question?
she was asking that it would include everyone, any city
You want
employee.
to take out
right?
all city employees from any board or commission?
Except where
With the
expressly,
exception.
yes. were expressly noted in statute, whether
Right.
it's Indiana or municipal code.
Councilwoman Powell, you had a question?
No, I was just going to seek further clarification. So the Common Council further finds the simultaneous service of any city employee except those in an ex officio role. I mean, going under that third whereas, would that be suffice?
No, maybe except when expressly included as an ex
Yeah.
officio role.
Mr. Basham?
But
Do,
right
do,
now,
do we want an answer? I mean, because I want to ask a question. Do we want that answer before we go on? Let's do.
yeah, that's kind of before we get too far out.
Yeah, you need an answer.
Is the question whether or not you can prevent any city employee from serving on a board or commission
Yeah.
outside of anything that's provided under Indiana statute, which I'm not fully aware of Indiana statute that mandates. There are ex officio positions within the city. You're talking about something that's based on a position, not the person. And so if there's, this supersedes that authority as well, where it's able. So, I mean, you can add in all city employees if you, the merit board would be an example of quasi judicial authority, right? So you don't want the chief of police sitting on the merit board.
Right.
But do you want to allow another city official? I mean, I don't know. That's your prerogative. And
I don't think that would be.
or a county employee. I mean, it depends on how far you want to take it.
I guess my question.
Go ahead, Mr.
My
Basham.
question is, before we get too deep into this, noting the possibility of a 4-4 vote, what does that mean to the long-term life of this particular amendments, and introduction of the ordinance? How does that impact the future unless it is tabled?
Well, the amendment, if it's 4-4, the amendment fails.
Right.
And then you have the main motion, which is the motion to introduce the ordinance that's still available. And then if that were to have a 4-4, then it would fail for introduction at this time.
Okay.
Mr. President, may I?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold, wouldn't this be similar to ordinance 3-26, where it failed for introduction and we brought it back the very next month? So if this were to fail, Mr. Councilman Mason can bring it right back next month. I personally would like to see how council is going to vote on this.
Mayor?
Ask the president, don't ask me.
Yes.
Okay, I do,
There's still an amendment that needs to be
Right.
voted on. So I don't want to get too far ahead and just leave this amendment hanging out here. So if the discussion's over for the amendment, I think that needs to be voted on.
thank you.
So how are we exactly wording it then?
I think we're asking you how we should
how we
word
should-
this.
I should
to-
word the amendment, yeah.
If you want to take out all city employees, then you exclude you're going to have to add them into the definition of a whereas isn't going to be a controlling definition. So you can put that any whereas, but then I think that it needs to be added under, you can add it to
The
the
operative language.
definition of department head if you want to. So then A would read, department head means any individual appointed by the executive or on the executive staff or within the city, who's a city employee. Does that include, are there part-time city employees? Are there seasonal city employees? I mean, that you're maybe wrapping up a lot of people
Yeah.
that you may not intend by doing that.
May I?
So this would be in section 1,
I would,
paragraph A.
I would recommend that it be in a definition and not just in a whereas.
Yeah. So.
Ro, you have a question?
Mrs. Cummings. Do we want to
sure.
say, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Any individual appointed by the executive or other and working directly beneath that department head? I mean, would that narrow it, make it more clear? More clear, but also more, more words.
Okay.
but-
We have an amendment to vote on.
But do we yet?
Figure out, yeah.
Don't we?
trying to
I don't
figure
think
out.
there's
think
a
the wording is
necessarily.
don't
Okay,
yet.
okay, I thought we had and
No,
a second.
Our counselor, our
Okay.
council is trying to formulate one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Mhm. I agree. That's mo- There's others.
Well, and that's why I think we need to include something in here, except when expressly included or,
Okay.
something.
I agree. I agree.
Road, you have questions?
So are, no, I'm good.
You good? Good. So legal, how is that going to be stated then as an amendment?
Well, if you want, you could say something like a department head direct report, meaning somebody that's serving directly under that department head. And then you're at least getting 2 layers within that department, so chief of police and the deputy chiefs. But if you added in, I'm trying to quickly determine what the overall, when you're adding in a definition, how is that going to affect not only
Mhm.
section 1, but
3 too.
every other
Yeah.
section that's in here?
Section 3. Yeah. I think it's, I am not a lawyer, but I think it will affect section 3 and 4 too.
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion and tell me if I'm wrong, council? May I?
Yes, go ahead. Road.
Okay, thank you. How about amend section 3 by replacing the blanket ban with a voting membership ban where there's a direct conflict while allowing non-voting staff support? No? Okay, that's fine. It was just a
Where-
suggestion, section 3.
Section 3, what?
Like add, yeah,
Which letter is under section 3?
I don't have that in front of me. I just
Hmm.
did my writing here, I'm sorry. But just getting rid of that blanket ban and voting.
Could it be something like department heads and administration department staff?
Yeah.
Keep it in the administration more.
Yeah, and the
That's more
department
direct.
staff, yeah, I think that could be definable. I want to make sure, I guess that's the keys. I want to make sure that if we're adding something, that we're not just throwing words into a definition, that we actually can define
Right.
what we're saying. So, yeah, that would probably fit into section 1A better.
Yeah.
After, so department head means any individual appointed by the executive or other executive authority to serve as head, and then you could add it in after. Director, superintendent. So right before whether full-time or part-time and whether paid or unpaid.
Okay.
And so you would be moving to amend section 1A to include
And
the
administrative.
staff of the
Staff.
department head, administrative staff, department head.
Administration department staff. Does that work?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about someone that's reporting directly to a department head. I mean, that's everybody. That's everyone in that department reports to the department head. So, I mean,
So is the amendment clear now?
As mud. Say that again. Ask that question again.
Is it clear? Can you read it back to us so we know exactly what we're voting on, sir?
yep, give me just a second.
Okay.
All right, so if I'm understanding, you're saying department, the administrative staff of the department head, so the department head administrative staff, so no one immediately surrounding the department head, essentially is what you're trying to encompass. So department head means any individual appointed by the executive or other executive authority to serve as the head, director, superintendent, or chief administrative officer of a city department, division, or agency. Department head administrative staff, whether full-time or part-time. I think it needs to go after of a city department.
Yeah. Okay.
Or department head administrative staff. You want me to read it again?
Yes, please.
Department, under section 1 eligibility, A, department head means any individual appointed by the executive or other executive authority to serve as the head, director, superintendent, or chief administrative officer of a city department or department head administrative staff, whether full-time or part-time, and whether paid or unpaid.
I second that
That's
motion.
the amendment?
Yeah.
I have a question
You have a question? Yes.
to council.
Go ahead.
Does that make it like a blanket ban statement? Is that what you just read?
What do you mean?
That means, is that a complete ban? Is that a blanket prohibition for anybody?
No.
No, it's not.
Mr.
Would you
President.
explain that to you?
Mr. President.
She's directing.
No, I don't
count.
think it's is it a blanket ban on
On,
all department head administrative staff? I don't think
I'm
every
talking about
city,
employees.
I don't think that would encompass every city employee.
Thank you.
And then, Mr. President, may I?
Yes, sir.
And then also, if you look at section 4, it talks about the ex officio and statutory, and it gives more, room there. So wiggle room. So if you need something specific or some specific appointment, you have the opportunity to do so. If it's specific for, like what the clerk was talking about or something like that.
Yeah. Section 4C.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions on the amendment?
I'd like to hear it again.
Section 1 eligibility, subsection A, department head means any individual appointed by the executive or other executive authority to serve as the head, director, superintendent, or chief administrative officer of a city department or department head administrative staff, division or agency, whether full-time or part-time, and whether paid or unpaid.
We will vote on the amendment. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I make a motion that we introduce ordinance 14-26 as amended.
Do we have a second? Any questions concerning this ordinance as amended? From the public?
Wayne Scaife. April, exactly 3 months ago today, I addressed this about department heads serving on boards. So I'm glad we're finally hearing it. But Why couldn't you just say all city employees? Kill everything. Because they shouldn't be working either. As the secretary that works for the mayor, as amended, is that included on this?
Mhm.
As amended? The communications director, as amended, is that on here? So in that meeting, if you look at your ordinance, 8C, it states this ordinance shall not prohibit city employees who are not department heads. So how are you going to change that? From serving on boards or commissions unless otherwise prohibited by law, ordinance, employment policy, or applicable ethical standards. You're gonna have to change that too. So when I addressed this, it was dealing with Ms. Cheeseman serving on the Human Rights Commission. So I attended that meeting last month. And as it stands, we don't have I guess the human rights director is suspended or whatever. Nobody's saying anything. But they were just trying to decide who's going to answer the phones while this person is suspended. And the community development director, Ms. Cheeseman, stated I can answer the phones. So imagine a person calling in to human rights with a complaint about community development, and she's answering the phone. She's taking a complaint on herself. How far you think that's going to go? And Ms. Selvey, I know you tried to give her an out by bringing up executive sessions. And Ms. Powell, thank you for bringing that up. She's still going to have access to the minutes, even if she recuses herself from those executive sessions. Right. Also, just remember, this applies to future administrations. So those of you who feel some kind of way about this Republican administration, remember, sometimes there's going to be a Democrat administration, and this is going to come back to bite you. We should also include elected officials in this. No elected officials should serve on any boards or commissions. I know, Mr. Green, you're on the Unsafe Building Board. No offense to you, but elected officials should not be serving on any of these boards.
Some of them are, yes, there's state law.
Also, the last thing I want to say on section 6, letter B, it says within 30 days after the effective date of the ordinance, any department head serving on the covered board or commission shall resign from such board or commission. Why are we waiting 30 days? Why isn't it effective immediately? If a person is removed for cause, they're not going to wait 30 days. So why isn't this effective immediately? Why are we waiting 30 days? I guess nobody can answer.
It's going to give them a chance to find replacements.
So if a person is removed for cause, are we going to give them a chance to find that person a replacement? Which there's no reason. This should state immediately, like anybody else who loses a position or somebody that resigns. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand some of the wording in this thing. And I read this whole thing probably 3 or 4 times. So some of this stuff in here is contradictory. And I mean, y'all need to do a better job reading this stuff because some of it doesn't make any sense. But last thing I want to say, I said the last thing already, but last thing I want to say is let's use common sense. Let's not take this ordinance personal. Let's vote for what's right. Thank you.
So this affects the Human Rights Commission, like Wayne just said. Who on council has served on the Human Rights Commission before? Just show of hands. Ro, I know you left after, when was it that you left?
Oh, when did I left when I was won the election.
Yeah.
So I resigned. So when I was on council, I recused myself. Yes.
Yeah. So what was your reasoning for leaving
For
it
me,
then?
because I just feel like somebody else would do a better job, and I didn't want any conflict between. So when things come from the Human Rights Commission to me, I could be more, objective. How about that?
Well, you told me you thought it was a conflict of interest in you.
Yeah, it is. Yes, too.
Okay, so
For
a
me.
conflict of interest for an elected official to be on a
I
commission.
felt this for
Yeah.
me. I did with my moral compass or how I view things. Yes, I did.
Okay, so what's your opinion on department head being on?
I have concerns, and it is not basically department head. My concerns are we are removing expertise from sometimes those, and not necessarily department head, even the employees, because some employees know answers to things that I don't like. The blanket statement. I've never liked the ban on anything, there's several things that I would amend or change about it. I'm not against the idea. I like the goal. I know what the goal is, protecting independence, public trust, but complete ban that I'm struggling with. So I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It's something that I personally am struggling with.
Yeah, so I'm not telling you how to vote. I don't represent the commission by any means. I'm a, I'm just
I'm
a
listening.
citizen. That's all I'm saying out. But yeah, I think that the commission, when it comes to access to the department, when it comes to subpoena powers that we have through our executive director, we shouldn't have more access to it just because we have expertise or we have just because we happen to have a department head on. I think that the commission itself, regardless, should be able to just have access. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. So Dale Basham, when did you leave the HRC?
I left to go to the Fire Merit Commission.
Okay, so was that the time period when it was like you could only be on one commission instead of another, or?
I felt that. I that was my feeling. I didn't feel like I could honorably serve both in both places.
Was it conflict of interest or something else?
I just felt like it was, my focus would be on the Fire Merit rather than, and it was nearing my term. Belinda and I served very close to each other. So it was some time ago.
Gotcha. I was just curious. Thanks for answering.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Yes, there's.
And that's stipulated.
And that's.
That's stipulated.
Yeah, and these should be, I agree, and these should be defined in the ordinance.
State law or city ordinance, and it's in here.
Yeah, this ordinance.
Right, yeah.
This doesn't affect
This
that.
doesn't affect that.
We don't have to. This doesn't.
Well, we
Point
can
of
sit here all night
clarification,
and pick
this
this
is
thing.
not a blanket, it's not a blanket ban, is it? No,
No.
it's not a blanket ban, Councilwoman Selvey. It's just for clarification, just the department heads and then the administrative staff that report to the department head, correct?
But wouldn't that be every employee in the office that has expertise?
No.
I mean, you're not
Counsel,
gonna,
could
I'm
you answer?
sorry.
Councilman,
No,
please answer this
yeah.
question, please.
So the question is whether or not it is the entire department or the department head administrative staff. So the way that it's worded now would be the administrative staff of a department head. So the people that are
In the office.
closest to the department head that are reporting directly to the department head, but I don't think you're catching all city employees, and you can strike 8C altogether with the amendment, and that would remove that conflict anyway.
Mr. Bash.
And this is for introduction.
Yes, we're doing
So,
That's what is,
Yes.
that's what's on the
That's
table
right.
right now.
So
is
we-
introduction.
right, exactly.
We have another gentleman wishing to speak. Go ahead, sir.
No, there's no amendment.
So would this also include contract employees that are acting as department heads?
See? There you go. It's not.
Yeah, I believe it would.
Because you got department heads or acting department heads that are on several boards.
full-time, part-time, paid or
Part-time, yeah,
unpaid.
it does.
I have to.
Yes.
So I just clarification, that's what we were wanting to know. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Rob Miller. Ro, I think I was thinking about what you were saying while I was standing there and changed what I was going to talk about. Are you guys thinking that employees of the city would just take their toys and go home and refuse to help commissions if they weren't allowed to vote? I mean, the mayor can say, go over here as an ex parte member and help them. But he can tell them to do that. I don't understand what the problem is. We just take away any influence that this administration or future administrations have being able to put their thumb on the scale in these commissions that are supposed to be run by citizens. This is government equity, not I'm in charge so I can appoint my friends and people to control so that I get my way. These commissions are supposed to be run by citizens, for the citizens, not they're not for the mayor. They're not for city council to appoint. It's not for that. This is another branch of the city government that allows citizens to have a say. And I just want to make sure that you're hearing it the way I was hearing it, right? That you're saying that, just to be clear, if these people can't vote, they won't help. That's how I'm taking that as a citizen right now. So that's all I have to say.
Mr. Basham.
And again, I just want to remind us all that we're voting to introduce an ordinance and we'll have a month to hear comments and make final decisions about adoption. Correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Anyone else? Sir.
Council, should we go ahead and make an amendment to remove that section that Mr. Scape is right? I mean, that's kind of, does-
8C.
I mean, it's,
I would-
you know, we
I would
clean it up.
strike the entire thing.
Yeah, okay. Then I will make that amendment to strike section 8C from this ordinance. It talks about, just for the public, this ordinance shall not prohibit city employees who are not department heads from serving on boards or commissions unless otherwise prohibited. Well, we are doing that partially, so.
Second.
And I just move that up.
Strike section.
Strike section 8C.
C,
is,
so will be gone. Okay. And that is as amended.
Could you read that?
It would remove. Remove section 8, construction, subsection C. This ordinance shall not prohibit city employees who are not department heads from serving on boards or commissions unless otherwise prohibited by law, ordinance, employment policy, or applicable ethical standards.
Okay, that's exactly what Rose talking about. Is that what you're talking about?
We're striking it.
So all of the, so when you're including in the department head definition, administrative staff and those departments, those are city employees. And so there is a conflict
that-
between these two sections. And I think that
To make that moot, yeah.
I think the cleanest thing to do is strike that section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have an amendment.
You
Is-
have a
Second.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the amendment, right?
Roll call.
No.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes.
No.
Fails.
That's just not contradictory.
What was the final vote?
4-4. Amendment failed.
No amendment.
Amendment fails.
Now we'll vote on the, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On introduction, as
Now
amended,
the introduction for the ordinance
as amended?
Correct.
as the first amendment, yes. Well,
No.
Yes, I couldn't hear.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Ms. Powell? Yes. Mr. Mason?
Yes.
President Green?
No.
And there's 5 yeses.
Ordinance passes
Introduction.
for introduction. Yes.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm ready now.
Resolution 9-26.
Okay, Resolution 9-26, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Muncie approving deduction from assessed value of new manufacturing equipment in an already declared economic revitalization area, Estimo, Indiana, Inc.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt Resolution 9-26.
I second that.
A presentation for us. Like to speak, please. Thank you.
There we go. All right.
Where's your, thank you.
Good evening, Council. I'm Tracy Lutton with the Economic Development Alliance of Muncie and Delaware County. I've been working with Astemo for several months now, and I've had several opportunities to go out and visit them at their facility, take tours. Councilperson Rose Selvey came with me one time. We did a tour and had a great meeting and dialogue. She was there representing the Tax Abatement Committee. But during that time, I've had the opportunity to understand their business and learn about the opportunities that they have in front of them. And one component of that is a project that they're going to discuss tonight. The Muncie operation has undergone significant transition over the years since they initially located here in Muncie in 1999. And they've always adapted to industry trends, global pressures on their business. And today's project that they're going to talk about is another example of them adapting and continuing to thrive in a changing market. So the Muncie operation, they have some exciting investments that are potentially coming their way. And I think it's an important point to note that they're not only competing with other companies, they're competing within their own company. Astemo has other locations in Indiana, across the United States, and we learned in the Abatement Committee meeting, they're a global company too. So when Astemo as a company is considering where to place new programs, investments, new lines, they're looking at competitive factors, including affordability. And so that leads us to request this abatement here tonight. So I've provided some documentation to you to support their application, their statement of benefits, a location map, and an abatement schedule. And the schedule is really just intended to support your dialogue tonight, give you a general understanding of the potential abatement. It is not intended to be a to the penny analysis for what this savings might be, but it's a great starting point for discussion. And so the calculations indicate that the $9.4 million investment in new business personal property will generate an estimated savings to the company if the abatement is granted of $259,668 to the company. But this is a phased in abatement. It's not 100% tax free for them. The city will realize new tax increment in the amount of $304,564. And this is in the Air Park TIF district, so that those funds will go to the TIF district. So I also want to note they are also expanding their business to accommodate this expansion, but they are not seeking an abatement on that piece of the investment. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the company to share more about their opportunity here and give you some more insight into what they're proposing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. And thank you, Council. It's our pleasure to be here tonight. So thank you very much. We are very much appreciative of the opportunity to present our case to you guys and tell you a little bit about Astemo, not only Astemo, but us, the Muncie site. Tonight, I brought with me Ms. Victoria Collier, Finance and Accounting Manager, and Mr. Toby Buchanan, Operations and Department Head. So they've kindly came here to support us, support me in this endeavor. So without further ado, let me explain a little bit about Astemo. And I promise I won't take much time. There's a lot of slides, but I'm going to go through them pretty quick. So Astemo, you won't find that in the dictionary. It's a company name means Advanced Sustainable Technologies for Mobility. We get people places they sometimes don't want to be, but where they need to be or want to be. So we take a lot of pride in that. And we're a conglomerate of several different companies that have come together with varying expertises in not only powertrain, which we are in that business, but suspension, brakes, many different products. We consider ourselves a technology company. We don't just build car parts. We are involved with products that include Internet of Vehicles and autonomous driving, which are some very interesting topics I won't talk much about because I make intake manifolds. Just to give you a little bit more idea of the products we make, we're in the powertrain business. You can see it kind of to the bottom in the middle. There's a V6 intake manifold, which we're going to talk more about, but make a coil ignition or various products in power control units, inverters, ignition coils in the powertrain side. On the chassis side, we make Astemo makes struts, shock absorbers, brakes, steering systems, drive shafts, many products. And motorcycle systems for the same four-wheel vehicles we build for two-wheel as well. And also in aftermarket, we're very active in the aftermarket business for the various companies. And these are all companies, we're very flexible. Any one of our plants could pretty much do what each other does, given the appropriate infrastructure. So we are a very flexible organization and can build anything, anywhere. And as you can see, we are a global company. You can see all the regions we have a presence in. We are not only a tier 1 supplier, but we are a tier 0.5 supplier. Our particular group, or Astemo, and I'll show you more about the customer base, but we are a partially owned subsidiary of Honda. So we have a great supporting background. And you can see we supply our customer base is very wide, very varied, with Honda being 52% of our customer base. We do supply all the major OEMs. So great customers in our sales lineup. You can see here, this is our presence in the Midwest and southeastern United States. We also have sales offices in California and also a location in Canada. And then also several locations in Mexico and Brazil in the Americas region. And this is, of course, this is our site, Muncie site. You can see the dotted line is the kind of shows you the perimeter of our location. We have about 20 acres. So we have a lot of room for expansion. This particular building is a little less than 100,000 square feet. And you can see the products we build there. So when you think about intake manifolds, we don't just build an intake manifold. We build multiple models for various customers throughout the Honda lineup and Stellantis, of course, which was commonly known or previously known as Chrysler. When I talk about flexibility, we used to build HVAC units at this site. So we used to ship to all the frame plants, which frame plants are where the cars are built. And now we build engine components. So it kind of further gives you an idea of what kind of flexibility we have. And we made that shift approximately in the 2017. And we've been doing this for 21 years. It just goes to show how much flexibility we do have in our organization. As a matter of fact, I might point out, we had 90 temporary associates at the time we made the change. We gave them plenty of notice following the RIF requirements. And we asked every one of them, we'd like for you to come back when we make this change because our headcount dropped so much. 89 out of the 90 said they would like to come back to work with us. The only person that could not was moving out of state. So we love our associates. They do great work, and we appreciate them very much. So the change points, I'll give you a little more detail about that. With the expansion, we'll be able to add up to 5 injection molders, and these are anywhere from 650 to 900 ton molders, injection molding intake manifolds. So that's number one. You kind of see that in that block in number one. Number two is the new assembly line location for the volume increase on the AP3 HEV, which is AP3 is an engine code for Honda and for the hybrids, which are literally doubling. So we just do not have the capacity for that. Number 3 is we do want to transfer, we're intending to transfer the V6 intake manifold, which is currently in Greenfield, which further, lets you know that we can move products from the plant. So as Tracy mentioned, we compete not only with other suppliers, we compete amongst ourselves, which keeps us all on our toes and keeps us competitive in industry. And then this is just a layout, a block diagram, kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. At the end of FY28, it's our intention to get that business from Greenfield and to bring it to Muncie for the V6, which is good volume, really good volume. It's about 1,100 units a day. That's a lot of cars. So actually Odysseys, pilots, and there's one other model I'm forgetting, but anyway, a lot of vehicles. And then the new assembly line, line 10 is in there too for the hybrid, as you can see in the upper section. You can see the investment that was previously mentioned, and we discussed a little bit with the committee, the tax abatement committee. So thank you very much for listening to our information there. The associate related items, I see with this particular investment, with this particular expansion, we'll be adding 9 new associates, and that will retain 188 jobs as well. The next slide, what we're looking at now is kind of a look at where we're going to be in FY28 with potential to break additional ground in FY29, sorry, and potential to break additional ground in FY28, given we get this new business. We can't really show the new business yet because we don't have it yet, but we're fighting to get it. And, as far as being the site lead, we're going to get it as far as I'm concerned, because we need the capacity. But we don't yet. Well, again, like I said, we're fighting other suppliers and fighting amongst ourselves, friendly fights, I guess. But you can see the new potential new model investment total, 23.7 million. And not only that, but the additional jobs, 60 additional jobs. Okay. And then this just shows the business expansion breaking ground in FY28, given we get some of this new business, potential for an additional 25,000 square feet. Okay. And then this is we talked a little bit about economic impact earlier. So you can see the impact for Delaware County payroll, county businesses, and property taxes with a total of 6.3 million. And then this gives you a breakdown of our associates. Muncie has 150 associates that live in Delaware County and 131 of which live in Muncie. So we're proud of our Muncie folks. They do great work, and we're expecting to do great things in the near future. And you can see the county by race table information shown in the table below. And as far as engagement, we have, we do offer an on-site clinic for folks, which is awesome. I could call today and have an appointment for tomorrow morning, first thing. It's great. And then on-site staffing agency, which Focus, they do a great job. And then some of the things we do, we love the school supply drive for associates. We celebrate all the holidays, Thanksgiving, pumpkin giveaways, Valentine's Day, December holiday. Sometimes we've got to wear some funny looking suits, but it's all in fun, and our associates love it. So, and then Women's History Month, we do quarterly cookouts where our management cooks for our associates, and it's actually very, very good. We can cook pretty good, so everybody loves it. So Easter egg hunts, Black History Month, holiday gift exchanges. These are great events, and just it's this is our work family, and these are the things we do together. We have the Memorial Day raffle. We do veterans. We love our veterans. For the men and women who served our country, we send them to our to the Speedway on us so they can enjoy the 500 and what the 500 has to offer. St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day celebrations. Local interns, we have 4 local interns from Ball State serving us in the materials department, serving us in HR, and we're, can't wait to get more. They do great work, and we would, hopefully we can get them hired on as well. And then we also we recognize people struggle sometimes, and we've noticed, you walk through the cafeteria sometimes and you see somebody not eating lunch. That's the most horrible thing you could ever imagine, when people don't eat or they can't eat. I don't care if you make $1 million a year. It's, people spend money on things. It's their business. We don't care. you know, we provide a job, but we want to make sure they eat. We walk through the cafeteria and we see people that if they're not eating lunch, we're going to ask them, if you need food, we will give you food. And it's all, you know, it's confidential. You know, we understand that. And so we keep a food pantry and we provide with, you know, donations from anybody and everybody. Okay. And it's not only just for us, it's for ASTMO in general. If there's anybody in our organization that needs food, we'll feed them. We'll make sure they're eating. Local engagement, Habitat for Humanity. We support that and we participate in that. We also participate in the Power Up Indiana Conference at Ivy Tech. So in partnership with them and with Ivy Tech, College, Eastern Indiana Works, Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and Department of Workforce Development, we helped launch a 6-month technical training program for 18 technical associates. And it was a great program and we're getting better for it. And we're going to be sending more folks through that program. Cardinal Greenway adoption. This is great. Our folks love it. They hit it at lunchtime and try to get in a few steps, and we support that. Keep it clean, and you know, just do the right thing. And that's all I have. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions from council? Yes, Mr. Dish.
Yes, I think you're in my district out there. How many products do you guys make there?
So our sole product by function is the intake manifold. But we have there's various models. There's various customers have specific designs. So we do turbo intake manifolds. We do hybrid intake manifolds. We do conventional intake manifolds, which is just strictly petrol or gas-fired engines. And then those specific functional intake manifolds have various models depending on the specification of the customers.
I bought excuse me, I bought a few intake manifolds. That's what I used to do for a living as a mechanic. And I probably bought some of your product through the auto parts places. How many factories do you have around central Indiana?
So in Indiana, of course, we have a location site in Greenfield. We have a site in Muncie, and then of course multiple sites in Ohio and Kentucky, in the 3-state region.
And what are you trying to produce more than manifolds there in the future?
So yes, sir, we are. We simply don't have the capacity right now. So my job as site head is to make sure we get that capacity and we get that business. And as I mentioned earlier, we were an HVAC supplier, an HVAC manufacturer, which is, you know, like, as I mentioned, we ship to frame plants where they build the vehicles and install the HVAC units. Now we were able to shift gears totally. And I'll never forget my boss saying that we are not going to let this plant close. Our associates are too great. We do wonderful work and we're going to keep this plant moving. So we shifted gears and we started building intake manifolds. But as I mentioned, you know, we compete with our other, with our brother plants, sister plants, because we can all do anything. We do make intake manifolds in Mexico. I believe it was for BMW at one time, and potentially Honda. Maybe I'm not sure. But
I got a couple more questions.
Sure.
Do you guys plan to hire some people? How many do you plan to hire?
So we plan an additional 9 associates for the current expansion that we're competing for. And if we land the business or, like I said, the V6 intake manifold, we're going after from our Greenfield site. And if the additional business that's being quoted now would bring on an additional 60 associates.
That's good. When do you think that'll start taking? Well, let me ask you this question. How does a person get a job there? Where do they apply at?
Well, they can apply on site at our the on-site staffing agency, and there's also another set. We have 2 staffing agencies, one on site and one local. And then, of course, we hire. I might add, excuse me, if I may, we it's 520, after 520 hours, if they meet the conditions and follow the rules and do good things. And then we best, given economic conditions, to hire them on permanently. Sorry.
This might be a question for you, and it might be a question for Tracy. We kind of discussed this before. How will, if at all, Senate Bill 1 and the increase in tax exempt for businesses for new equipment, will this company benefit from that new law?
Yeah, so the calculations I provided take into consideration those recent legislative changes, the depreciation floor and the $2 million exemption. So these numbers are reflective of those changes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. McIntosh.
I noticed you was talking about how you take care of your workers and everything, the benefits. You have all the different programs, the holidays and stuff. Are you unionized? That's just a question.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
I see that you've got wages here, just a range. It looks like it says from 1680 to 2255, and you're averaging that at 1940. With these 9 jobs, what do you see those coming in at, like the pay?
It'll be comparable to those wage ranges.
Do you think
Typically, in
more
case,
of them would be on the lower or the higher, I guess is my question.
well, it's really hard to say because we would bring in new associates, so they would fall under the lower wage rate, and we would move our typically our associates that are currently working with us that have the experience, would move them that way, and they would be replaced by the new associates to ensure a successful startup.
Well, you have a question.
No, I just have a couple of things to say. I have never seen anything, and haven't visited too many companies, but I have a lot of compliments to you. And I'm going to start it where I was at a neighborhood association picnic, and some gentleman saw me in the factory, and he was very complimentary to you. He asked me what I was doing there, if I was going to get a job there. But he mentioned that you and Mr. Buchanan, he didn't mention you, that that you never use the word workers. You always call them associates. And he was bragging about you, and that you both know every employee's first and last name, and you know about their families, and you ask about their families. So I'm going to start there. Second, from my visit, it's amazing. Like, you can walk in, and if you want to apply to a job, there's somebody sitting at the desk with computers that will work with you, figure out what your skill set is, and provide you a direction to go back. The clinic for your associates and their families, if they're not feeling well, the nurse is there. The cleanliness of this facility and the freedom for your associates. They were listening to music. It was just phenomenal. So
thank you.
Yeah, you've set the standards high for a manufacturing company. So congratulations, and thank you for treating the associates very well.
Thank you.
I have a question for you before I leave. Tell me about, if we approve this tax abatement, tell me about how it's going to affect your modernization investment, and how competitive is it going to allow you to be, or how competitive is Muncie going to be? Like, how other cities will view us. Do you see what I'm saying? Where would us, like, where would it move us? Like, other cities and companies would view us as a competitive city where you can come here and I don't know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I think it's going to move you guys up a notch because you are technology wise.
First of all, it's been a great partnership with the county and the city. You can tell by the number of our associates and their, where they come from. But we do have a great mix of manual processes and automated processes. So the technology, does it take away from adding associates? Of course it does, but it improves our level of competitiveness and makes us a desirable employer, because engineers, they have a certain way of thinking, and no offense to anybody, I'm not an engineer, but they want to work. You call some of these robots toys. They love to work on their toys, and we love to make money off those toys. And in order to be competitive, you have to have a certain amount of technology in your facility. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, I hope
When
that
get
answers.
tired, my English gets horrible.
No. You were spot on. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Mason?
Yeah, you said you're competing for these contracts at the moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if granted these contracts, do you intend to seek any further additional relief from property taxes on this property?
At this point, we're focusing on this abatement alone. And I have no other, right at this point, I have no other intent or strategy for additional. We're focused on this abatement.
And this resolution is up for adoption.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it's in an already declared economic revitalization area.
Any other questions from council? Any from the public? We do have a recommendation for adoption. First and second. Okay, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
See you next month.
Wait.
To the extent there's any questions about this resolution or the other resolution or the ordinance, happy to answer them now or accept emails.
Sure.
I'm wondering if it makes sense to, since the ordinance that this is about is
Right.
still in committee, if it makes sense to table this.
Okay. We'll ask legal. Should these two resolutions be set aside for now?
You
Table?
can, I mean, so you can postpone them until time that ordinance comes out of committee. And so essentially you're postponing them, not necessarily tabling them, but postponing them for a certain time, and you can attach it to that ordinance coming out of committee. You can just table it. You could.
Could these be sent to the committee along with that so they could all be discussed together in committee?
Yeah, you can make a motion to send it to a committee.
But I have a question for you. If the sponsoring council member removes them, can he bring them back next month?
If the sponsoring council member removes.
Withdraws these from the agenda tonight, both 10 and 11.
Yeah, you have a motion to, a motion to adopt in a second. So if you withdraw those, then the sponsoring council member could withdraw both from the agenda.
And then it wouldn't have to go to be tabled then. It can be brought back up next month or whenever 926 ordinance comes off committee.
Yeah, I think there's a couple options to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Basham.
So that requires from the motion and the second to withdraw before the sponsoring councilman withdraws.
I would do that to be cleaner. I mean,
Okay.
it's up for adoption right now.
I withdraw my second.
I do not withdraw my motion to adopt. I would like to hear more about the motion to send it to committee.
Okay. Well, I'll make the motion to send, I guess I'll just do this one since we're talking, to send this to committee along with the ordinance 9.
I will second that.
So do we have a first and a second
Mm-hmm.
on 1026?
And are you referring to the Public Services Committee?
Yes.
Okay.
May I ask, is this applying to both?
Well, this is just.
Just the
right now,
one?
Okay,
one at a time.
all right.
This is 1026.
Okay. You had mentioned both of them
Yes.
together earlier, and I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, do it one at a time.
Okay, so we have a vote then.
You can debate a motion to send it to a committee, yes. And
Okay.
so,
Someone with a comment from the audience.
Why would you want to withdraw this? Why would that be the answer? Can you look at me, President Green? Never, you just can't ever, like we have to talk about this every meeting and come up here. Why would you guys, what is so wrong with asking questions and getting answers to questions? I understand you might have the ear of whoever's running City Hall currently, but I would say that the rest of your counselors don't, and the public certainly doesn't. And there's not a whole lot of confidence, specifically when actions like this occur. Why would the push be to quiet things down and to remove this? It makes sense since Ordinance 926 is still stuck at committee. Hopefully somebody makes the motion to call back a second public service committee, and hopefully the administration will do what they're supposed to do at that point. If they don't, I hope you guys don't pull it off the table and it'll just languish out there forever until it dies. But if that's not going to be discussed, and that's going to at least be in committee until it either goes to committee meeting again, or at least until next August at the meeting, why would you not go ahead and put resolution 1026 and 1126 with that, so everybody could get answers to questions that you might not have, but you only represent District 1. And I'm pretty sure that District 1 citizens have questions about this. You're not up there to do what Dan Ridenour wants. You're not up there to do what you want. You're up there to represent your citizens of District 1 and the rest of District 5, District 6, District 4, and on down through. So again, this has been a long meeting because there's a lot of lack of preparation and a lot of confusion. God, if I was Brandon, I'd run. You guys need to get it together and start doing what the citizens want and not what you think you want or what your overlords want. Table this.
My name is Audie Barber. I haven't been up here for a while, but I've been paying attention to what's going on. And I told you guys this time about last year that this administration is running all over you guys. They are not coming to your meetings to let you know how much something's going to cost. They don't care. Remember that? Remember that when I done that not too long ago? That's what they're doing to you guys right now. And I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or don't know what you are. They're doing it to all of you guys as a council members, as a council. They don't care what you guys say. So until you cut their wings and hold them responsible, budget's coming up. Guess what? Budgets are coming up. If you don't hold these people responsible, they are not going to come to them meetings and explain anything to you because they don't have to. There's no consequences to it. You know, you guys are the parents, they're the children. If you tell your children, be home by 11 o'clock and they don't show up at 11 o'clock, they're in trouble. This administration is not that way. We're going to stay out till 3 o'clock and ain't a thing you can do to us about it, guys. You need to pull your heads out of your ears, become a council, together, put the politics beside right now and hold this administration responsible. And I don't know who's actually running the administration right now. I know Dan's sick right now. I understand that. And Lord help him. I hope he gets better. But we still have a city to run. And you guys still have to be responsible for that administration. And you're not being responsible for that administration. You're too many 4-4 votes, 4-5 votes. Don't know which side we're going to vote on tonight because we don't know if we're Republicans or Democrats at this time. Be for the people. Throw the Democrat and Republican away. Hold this administration responsible. Thank you.
We have a first and a second to send this to committee. Is that correct?
Correct.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Resolution 1126.
Same motion.
All right. Resolution 1126, authorizing the entry by the City of Muncie, Indiana in a bot agreement and related documents for Fire Station Number 5 project and taking certain other actions related thereto.
Motion to send to the committee.
Second.
Motion to send to the committee.
No way. First and a second.
Yeah.
Anyone wishing to speak? Any
sorry.
questions?
I would just add, council, I mean, timing wise, these are all related. So it goes to committee. That's fine. We can't close on any financing till these all get approved. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's fine. I will just mention this resolution was probably more of the subject matter of Greg Mertz, who was able to attend the committee meeting a week and a half ago. This relates, you know, there's sort of the financing component of this project, and then there's the procurement piece. This is the procurement piece, same method that was used for the last fire station project.
I have a comment, and I don't mean to be rude, but I think this is just a message that we need to know the numbers, right? Like when we have a public meeting, public hearing, we don't just care about the design. We like pretty things in Muncie, but we want to know as a council, how are we going to pay for it and where's the money coming from? And to not show up, I'm sorry, maybe it's a little criticism at a committee, knowing that there's millions of dollars that we have to put aside for it is really a sign of, I don't know, not in good faith, or, so I don't know. I felt disrespected that there was no, as a member, I was in the audience. I wasn't even on the committee. I just felt like I wasted my time being there. I'm sorry, with all due respect to the committee members.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to say that.
No, I understand, council member, and I apologize for not being there.
Okay.
We can get that.
That's why we're here now,
Yes,
you know.
and I will, these resolutions, the lease agreements, these are going to be payable from your local income tax dollar certified share. If you want amortization schedules for, what does that mean on an annual basis?
With all due
we can
respect,
make-
that our constituents need more details. I need more details before I make a decision. So just generalizing it like that, I don't think, to me, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm not that intelligent, but I'd like some specifics and details. So thank
Okay,
you.
I hear you. We'll get with Bob Swintz. We'll compile that information for the committee meeting.
I'd like to see you attend the next meeting, get with Mr. Dishman. So
Yes,
when he
sir.
sets that date, that you will be there and we can ask those questions of you. and get them answered, and the public will receive those.
Yes,
It's
yes, sir.
important.
We'll have our full team there. Again, I apologize. I was at family vacation. I couldn't
That's
change
okay.
it.
We understand. Thank you. Mr. No,
Me.
you did. Okay.
It was not just you. There was no one here from the administration either. And actually, the questions that I really had were geared more towards them. It pertained to Ball State's contributions and how would that affect the total number that we're borrowing? Any extra, what would that mean for their budgetary process? There were all sorts of questions that may not have affected or may not have come from you, but the administration chose not to show up as well.
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to see you guys sending this to committee. My only concern is we still haven't got figures from the other fire station yet. I don't know if you guys have received any or not, but station number 6, I don't even know if it's quite complete all the way yet or how much the total dollar amount was on it, 9.5, 4.5, 7.5, 10.5. Nobody knows the exact fees on that. So I think we ought to slow down on this next fire station until we get the total amount of money spent on this last one and make sure that that one's done before we move on. And I do a lot of traveling in the state of Indiana, and I see a lot of fire stations being built in Kentucky. And I guarantee you, we got the most beautiful fire station you've ever seen. So I'm impressed with the fire station, the way it looks, but I think we could have maybe saved a little money and maybe not went so extravagant on it. And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful building, but I think it's a little much for Muncie right now. Thank you.
My name's Todd Smeckens, and I got a question for you guys. Do you know how much total debt Muncie has, the city of Muncie? How much it has outstanding? It's about $70 million. Okay. And the reason this guy's here from Bose is they have to structure off balance sheet, basically transactions in order to borrow money. I mean, they're going through lease arrangements and you're basically almost twice the debt that the state constitution says that you can have. I mean, your regular bonds are 42 million, 38 million's coming from operating leases financed by guys like these because the administration's tapped out. They can't borrow money. No, see? So they're working these deals on the side, setting up these operating agreements by these building corporations, leasing it back to all, Ball State's not involved. The hospital's not involved. I mean, you're tapped out. The 11 million would exceed your borrowing limit. That's why they hire expensive people like these to arrange the debt and have been able to move it from 42 million to 80 million. That's before you even discuss the 11.5 million that they're wanting right now. And they're using these guys to work around your debt limit. So you might want to take a look at the numbers, and when it goes to committee, hold some folks accountable. Thanks.
I just want to address that last comment. The structure that we're employing here is not off the sheet financing. It's not uncommon. Hamilton County's AAA rated, Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, Westfield, all highly, highly rated municipalities in the state of Indiana, all use lease financing structures. In fact, I doubt there's a city the size of Muncie in the state of Indiana that doesn't have a lease financing structure. So what we're doing, and I'm just saying this because I don't want there to be an implication that this is some kind of a sham or a trick. This financing will go through a rating agency process. It's structured just like all other financings in the state of Indiana. If you couldn't do lease financings in the state of Indiana, there'd hardly be any school buildings out there for kids to go to. It's just a fact. So it's a mechanism that's been around for decades. And I just want to be clear, this is not an unusual or financing we're involved with here.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Those that you have other business.
Yeah, other business.
I was just going, just as I did last meeting, I read a letter and you addressed that, and I just wanted to allow you the opportunity to publicly tell them what you told me in regards to the conversation you have with the administration regarding negotiations with AFSCME. Because I appreciate that you did follow up on
Yes.
my request, and I just want the public to know what was said.
Do you have, yes, you have a letter?
Just want to,
Oh,
I have a letter? I don't have a letter.
Something was supposed to have been sent to you today concerning that.
Let me back up one step. Let's just be clear for the record, so there's no guessing when people are reading the minutes, that the last resolution was sent to the Public Service Committee.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Sorry.
And I know that that seems obvious, but when you're reading through the minutes, if
Okay.
no one actually says that, then it's,
I was
Now.
told that they sent a letter to you.
who's they?
They being legal counsel that was at the AFSCME meeting and where that stood, because I'd asked for that. And they said they had sent that to you, so I would have that for this evening. I know what I was told, but no, it was not from you.
Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, I didn't.
No.
see anything.
I didn't either. I didn't get it.
Because I had asked for it, and they said they sent it to you. I don't know if you got it.
Yeah, let me look.
Me too.
Informative memo at, 5:00 this afternoon. And it was sent to me, what it appeared to be more of a courtesy copy. Do you need that?
I don't have it.
Okay.
They told me they sent it to you. They didn't say they sent it to me, but it's for information to give tonight.
Okay.
Would you care to read that? That it has to do with AFSCME.
Okay, there's
Is
a
that
letter,
correct?
there's a, yes. There's an informational memorandum attached that's 9 pages.
Oh my.
I don't know if, and then there's a body. Okay, there's a message from city attorney's office regarding the negotiation status. Is that what you
Yes,
like read?
that's what
Okay.
we're asking.
Make sure that's on. The city administration requested that our office provide a brief update regarding negotiation with AFSCME. At the conclusion of the party's last bargaining session in December of 2025, the city presented AFSCME with a wage proposal that provided the same pay increase offered to the city's other bargaining units. AFSCME declined the proposal at that time and advised that it would contact the city to schedule another bargaining session when it was prepared to continue negotiations. As previously communicated to AFSCME employees earlier this calendar year, because the parties had not yet reached a successor collective bargaining agreement by January 1st, 2026, the provisions of the Evergreen Clause have remained in effect while negotiations continue. The city remains willing to meet and continue bargaining upon AFSCME's request. Let me know if you have any questions. That's from the city's corporation council.
Okay. That answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
well, you had answered my question. I just wanted
Yes.
the public to.
Okay.
So negotiations are ongoing.
Yes, sir.
So
Nate Burgess, president of ASHME. Mr. Basham, if you recall, you was in there when the meeting started.
As was Mr. Dishman. Yes.
He was not there. Yeah, he has not made one. They come out and said, we're going to give you 4%, not in the negotiations. This is all we can give you. We appreciate everything you guys have done. We've crunched the numbers And 4% is all we can give you. It's not part of negotiations. Thank you. We appreciate that. We had a brief, they handed out their letter of what they wanted. We went and caucused, come back, Mr. Basham was not there. A show of hands, how many people has been part of the negotiations?
Previously?
Just negotiations and period, period.
Have we been aware of?
Okay?
Any
Been part of them.
Oh, I've been.
Okay,
This
of
one?
course you have.
Yeah,
Of course you have. Just in general.
Right.
Okay, when you go in there, you negotiate the tips of your fingers. Okay? I give you 2 fingers, you give me 1. Okay? Well, this administration, all they have done is cut us in half. So when we left out of there, we said, we are not negotiating. We're going to enforce the evergreen clause, and we appreciate the 4%. What pissed them off? They wanted to caucus, come back and say, well, now the 4% is off the table. So until that 4% hits our account, I'm telling you now, as union president, we are done negotiating. We are done giving shit up. That's a fact.
Once again, I am asking the council to hold this administration responsible for the employees of the city of Muncie. Ask me that I've been asking you for 2.5 to 5 years to do. I've been up here begging you people, please hold this administration responsible for these people. They're not getting what they deserve, but yet they're still going out here taking care of your stuff. They are still out here working their fingers to the bones. They're still out here doing stuff that they're not technically supposed to be doing, but they're doing it for the city of Muncie because they like their jobs. I can take half them guys right now, put them in the union, put it in the operators union. They'll make double what they're making now, but they love their job at the city of Muncie. They love the job working for the city of Muncie. Hold this mayor responsible. The new mayor, the old mayor, whichever mayor's in there right now, this administration, make them take care of these people. I've begged you guys for years to do this. Reach down, grab some. Make sure you still got them if you got them. And hold this responsible. Get these folks paid.
Bullshit.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
Okay. Mr. President, there is in other business, Miss Colleen Swackhammer would like to come and speak with an update from the Planning Commission. They have a presentation to share with us. Thank you.
Okay. Kyleen Swackhammer, Plan Commission. One more presentation for you this evening. Please bear with us. We appreciate your time, but I'm bringing exciting news. Everybody hear me okay? This is a new microphone. It sounded super loud earlier. Okay. Okay. So for years, our office has been talking about a comprehensive zoning update. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We've been planning this for years, talking about this for years. The current city ordinance was adopted in 1973, has had a few amendments, but needs to be modernized. It's very out of date, not customized to how our community is today. So we reached the point last year, around November of last year, where we were able to send out an RFP. We did select a consulting firm to do this process and complete this project with our office and all the stakeholders that are involved in this. American Structure Point was chosen, and today was our kickoff day of starting this process. So I have David Baird and Matt O'Rourke here from American Structure Point, and they're going to give you a little introduction of what this process is going to look like. But I am here to just ask each and every one of you to be involved in this process, engaged in this process. We need your feedback. We need your input, along with all of the community members. So.
Yeah. So thanks, Colleen. One thing that's unique about this process, of course, you know that Colleen's office is a dual office. It serves both the city and the county. And so we are actually rewriting both the city and the county at the same time. I think that's important for you as council to know, because you're going to hear of a very similar project being done with the county. So I want that to make that very clear. It is also unique for us, and we're thinking through how we are going to be doing that throughout this process. So it really is two projects in one. So as she said, we met with the county commissioners this morning, and we gave them a very similar presentation to what you're going to hear tonight. Again, we are very much up at the forefront of this. And as Colleen did a great job of introducing myself, Matthew O'Rourke, our group leader, is also here tonight. So moving on, Colleen kind of asked, we want to hear what the issues are for you. Of course, one of the big things, and I do have a slide about this later, is I get questions, well, what is a unified development ordinance? Really what we're talking about is we're talking about merging the city's zoning, subdivision regulations, and sign ordinances into one large document. And the reasons to do that is we find that there are a lot of administrative procedures and things that over time are very, very similar in the subdivision and in the zoning ordinance, and they little conflicts start to kind of bubble up. So we've found that it's a better way of streamlining things if we put this all together. So a lot of this project, and I'll keep going on here. We'll go. So the goals. So yeah, the goals that we have here is any kind of plan document that you have. We want to look at that and see how we can create better standards across the board. So one of the things we heard tonight was about an overlay district. So I thought it was interesting that the gentleman, one of the proponents tonight, brought up the idea of parking reductions as one item. So one way that we would use a process like that is to say, well, is that reduction, does it make sense citywide? Does it just make sense in that location? A lot of times what we find when we go through this process is a lot of good ideas come out of a process like that, but it really can be tailored to more than just their area of town. It can be tailored throughout the whole city. So that's kind of the frame we look at when we're looking at modern best practices, new land uses, kind of things like that. And again, I mentioned making it easier to understand. Anytime that you have an ordinance that is older than I am, generally speaking, that's time for it's time for an update at the very least. So this is a pretty old document. Of course, it's been amended, but the problem that we see is a lot of times things get amended. It gets amended in one location and it doesn't get amended in a second location, and it creates conflicts. And so as we start to analyze this, I'm sure we're going to find those. And that creates problems for applicants because they don't know how to interpret it. It creates problems for staff because they don't know how to interpret it. And so that's what we run into a lot. So a lot of this is cleanup, but a lot of it's bringing best standards and making it, tailoring it for Muncie. I often get the question about, well, how stringent will this be? And we look at what we do as a kind of having a menu of different options, and we're trying to find what is sense. How high does that standard need to be? But there are a lot of things other than the standards that we can streamline to make this an easier process. So that's one of our big goals. So we got this broken down into 4 different steps so that engagement is involved throughout the process. We're going to be here giving you updates. We're going to be having what we call here giving you updates. We're going to be having what we call stakeholder meetings and advisory committee meetings, which we'll talk about a little bit more. So in general, this is about a 14-month process. I say generally because a lot of times we get into it and we actually, our client will say, let's hold off a little bit. Let's get a little more public participation. So 14 months is an estimate. We can do it that quick, but we do have some clients that say, well, let's slow this down. Let's get a little more information. Let's do that. And that's totally fine for us because this is a large project. It isn't overhaul. It is not just looking at one area of town, which we had today for an overlay district. So I mentioned about stakeholder meetings. That's in what we call phase one. We call this educate. It's really about educating ourselves as to what are the preferences of the city, why are things as they are today, what may need to change. It takes us a little time to kind of get involved in it, but we also do what we call a diagnostic review, which is kind of the in-depth way to look at the ordinance for us that do this on a regular basis to figure out where are some of the deficiencies, where are the technical problems. We already talked about interpretation problems, maybe conflicts. We have a way of kind of dissecting and taking apart the ordinance, which we do before we ever start writing it. So then we get into the drafting of the ordinances. And we're here, we call it iterative drafting. So we'll take a crack at it. There are going to be changes. This is one that has a lot of policy involved in it. I've never done a process like this where there weren't substantial edits. That's part of the process. So understand that the first time you get a draft, you look at it, that does not mean that's what we're coming to adopt. That's a key portion because so very often when you have an overlay district or a small section, you know, you may have someone kind of give you an update and then they come and they have it here. This is more of an iterative process of showing, here's what we did. We want your feedback. Tell us, you know, how you want things modified. And then we go back and we kind of go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and move forward through the process. So then we get into the adoption of it. And one of the things that compliment the agency on taking us up for is we have some options we call post-adoption support, some things with training, some application forms, because some of the application materials are going to look different. We want to be able to get that out for them. So this is just a list of generally how the process or the document flows. Again, there is a little bit of getting used to it being a consolidated document, but our clients, the feedback we receive is once you get used to it, it's much easier to understand. So I'm going to give you guys kind of an overview of some of the things we do. That I mentioned the methods of kind of dissecting it. We have a lot of tables that we use, and we create like what we call this is an example of what we call a land use adjustment table. So we find a lot of times that you have very, very similar terms for the same thing, and that becomes a real big problem for staff because they don't know how to interpret it. It's not on this chart, but one of the examples I like to give is sometimes we'll have clients that'll say flower shop and gift shop, and they're two different things, and they are regulated differently in the ordinance. Well, what do you do when you have a gift shop that sells flowers? So your zoning administrator and your agency here has to take something that may not even have a definition and try to figure this out in a situation where it could be interpreted many, many different ways. That's the last place you want to be when you're administering it. And that's unfortunately when you don't have clear definitions and stuff, that's what ends up happening. So we find these breakdowns and then we try to repair it through clear definitions, making it much more easy to use moving forward. We'll look at your zoning districts. If there are some districts that are very, very similar or they're overlay districts, maybe in one area. A lot of times when we see an overlay district, we say, well, the intent of it, it seems like it would be better if it's just one district. So we'll kind of we'll think through all of that. As I said, we like to use tables and charts whenever we can. As someone who used to work in a position similar to Kylene, I can tell you I've administered these things when it was just very text heavy, which is what you have today. And then when they're in a chart, it's so much easier when someone calls and you can look at a chart and you can say, well, you can do this. There's some details, the details further in the ordinance. Come into our office, we'll talk about the details. But most people, when they call, the first thing, they just want to know generally, can I do this in this location? And so when you have it structured this way, it is so much easier for a new staff person when they pick up the phone to answer in this capacity. Now, what's interesting, and I have this with some clients, is that in some cases, the staff's actually done that. It's not even in the ordinance, but they call it like a cheat sheet, because that's the best way they can do it. So our view is, well, why shouldn't that just be in the ordinance so anyone can see it? And what we also find is it'll cut down on calls, because people can actually read and interpret the ordinance much more easily. So they don't even have to call staff sometimes. So it frees up staff for more things. So there's a lot of benefits with doing this. It's not just about making it look pretty. It does look more pretty, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of functional benefits in doing it this way. I mentioned the annotated outline. That, just think of that as a table of contents. When we're reorganizing things, we don't want to lose any sections. So we're keeping track of where your old portions of these ordinances are. One of the questions we had, I do want to let you meet. We met with some staff members. We met with the interim mayor, the county engineer, and also the building official earlier today. And, one of the questions we talked a lot about this process, kind of gave them an update similar to what we're doing tonight. But they were curious about what standards stay and which standards are getting changed, and that's why we keep it in this chart. If it's a good standard and it's working, we don't want that to go away. But it's those things that are causing problems or causing conflicts that we really zone in this process. So we also create graphics. This is just an example. A lot of people, it's easier for them to understand something visually. So we do add that as well. I mentioned engagement. A couple things that we do. We'll have an advisory committee that we'll be meeting with very frequently. I think Kylene's working on developing this with your input. If you have input on who might be good to serve in that capacity, please contact her. When we interviews, what we like to do is group people that view things, at least for this project, in a similar way. So we will have like business owners come at one time. We'll have neighborhood advocates come at one time. That really helps us understand what's key and important for them. So sometimes when you have a comp plan, you have more of a public open house, and we still do that. But the stakeholder sessions are important so that we can kind of see at the end of the day, okay, what's important to one group. So that's one thing that we'll do. With that, I think I've covered kind of the basics, the overview of this project. We are excited to get it started. And so I just would take any questions. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them at this time.
So you're saying that you want to do this as a city county altogether?
No, there are two different projects. They are two different projects. The city, it's happening at the same time, but there will be a county code and a city code at the end of the day. They will not be one, but they are simultaneously occurring.
I'll add one thing. So the combining that we're talking about, the city currently has a subdivision ordinance and then a comprehensive zoning ordinance. Those will be combined into one UDO. The county has a subdivision ordinance and a comprehensive zoning ordinance, and those will be combined into one UDO. So
yeah, it's city ordinances combining county ordinances.
How soon will you start these meetings?
Well, we really view today as the kickoff day, and then we're thinking through the timeline of when the next set of meetings will be. Usually we hold that a couple months from when we do the kickoff. We need some time to kind of get involved and ingrained in the ordinance, and then also make sure that we get appropriate people, that we get a full representation of of interests that are serving on the advisory committee. I think it's very important to make sure that you're looking at a wide scope, because there's so many different types of people that this touches. You want to have a diverse group when you have this advisory group. So
I don't have a question, but I'd like to apologize for walking out. I had to.
oh no, I understand. I had to take a bathroom break earlier, so I get it. I get it.
Any other questions from council?
I do.
Yes.
Can you make this presentation, this PDF available to us?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will send every council member a big old packet of information after this meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I will keep you updated. But ultimately, this is the body that is going to adopt this.
Okay.
So we need your involvement from day one.
And we appreciate you letting us know.
Yes,
and having
thank you for this, your time this evening. I know it's been a long evening.
Any other questions? Okay. And we'll move on to public comment.
Okay, Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
That's all right.
Got a question? Go ahead. Other business.
Not with you. I don't.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I wanted to make
Are
sure.
you dealing with them? I mean, they asked,
No.
they thought you had a question.
Okay, no. Didn't want to go on.
Other business. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I just want to, the best way that I know to do this, I believe that we need to, as a council, have an investigation into some of these procedural irregularities that have been brought to light about the contracts for Jeff Howe in his position as MRC director and as deputy mayor. I will say that a lot of this information, I will attribute that to Christopher Bilby for bringing some of this to our attention, and looking at what he's got and looking at the contracts. I believe that there are irregularities, and I believe that we need to look into this. Looking at the code, and then I spoke with our attorney today. I think that I'll probably need to bring this as a resolution next month. Unfortunately, that's probably the cleanest way to be able to do this, to vote at that point, to see what council is willing to do. It's a kind of a vague code, but I just want to let you know that that is my plan, to bring this back next month as a resolution for us to investigate what looks like procedural irregularities with these contracts.
Agreed.
Public comment.
Jacob Cool, please. Mr. Jacob Cool, thank you.
Okay, good evening, guys. This is my first time up here, so please give me grace. My name is Jacob Cool. So I'm with ARC Muncie. We're a street outreach team that's been serving Muncie for about 2 years now. We assist unhoused neighbors throughout the community by connecting them to resources. We're delivering food and water, and we're actually collecting trash out of encampments around Muncie. I'm here tonight to speak regarding new homeless camping ban, Senate Bill 285, and why I believe our community has an opportunity to respond with both compassion and accountability. I want to begin by saying that I'm not here to criticize any of the current services and providers that we have in our local area. They do incredible work, and they've changed many lives. But I'm here because there's still a gap. We've recognized a gap within that community and the folks that we work with. And to address some of those concerns, I just wanted to talk a little bit tonight. So every week we meet people who cannot access the shelter system. That would be like married couples because they don't want to leave one another, people who have pets, individuals working hard in recovery, like medical assisted recovery. Some of those folks take some certain medications that they can't have in shelters. Sometimes people have been asked to leave the shelter, have nowhere else to go. Our shelters have rules and they need to operate safety. And the reality is that some of those rules can create gaps. What I mean by that is some shelters, if you leave or you check out, you can't come back for 30 days, right? So with the new homeless camping bill and saying, hey, you can't camp on public property, where are people supposed to go legally and still be considered within the law, right? So because of the new bill, they're actually running to abandoned houses, private properties, and they're hiding from the community because they're viewed as criminals. They've already started doing it. They're afraid to exist. They don't disappear because we don't have a place for them. They're still around. Senate Bill 285 doesn't solve homelessness. It simply changes the legal status of the people who still have nowhere else to go. At ARC, we've sat beside people on hospice whose families never came to see them. We've held hands with people who have just been in a complete wreck and a mess and believe the world had forgotten them. We've watched volunteers become the only family some of them have left. Real change doesn't begin with a citation, it begins with a relationship. That's what ARC does. We earn trust first, and then we help people take the extra step towards recovery, employment, treatment, and housing. In just 2 years, on a budget of roughly $17,000 raised through only community donations and our own contributions, and we've delivered over 10,000 hot meals, removed more than 20,000 pounds of trash. That can be confirmed with Muncie Sanitation, if anybody would like those numbers. And then we've also helped 9 people obtain housing and connected 6 people to rehab. Those relationships also led us to ask a different question. What if instead of expecting people to travel all over the city to receive services, we brought the services into a managed space? That idea has grown into a proposal that has received input and support from multiple great nonprofit organizations within Muncie that have been doing this for decades. We thank those professionals for their guidance and input. Some of them are in this room. Thank you. Now imagine what could happen if the city partnered with us and the nonprofit partners all around Muncie by providing a piece of property where outreach teams, healthcare providers, churches, and nonprofits could bring services directly to those people who need them most in a safe, clean, and accountable environment. A lot of them have issues with transportation, medical barriers, and other things that make it very difficult for them to travel 5 to 6 miles a day to get resources. We are seeking a property where we can do exactly that, and we've asked the city to provide a parcel. The search is ongoing. We still not yet found a suitable location. If anyone in this room or anyone in the community has any ideas or knows of any available property, we would love to hear from you. Earlier this evening, I had the honor, and this was at the earlier meeting, I had the honor of leading the Pledge of Allegiance, and the line, "One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice, and for all," really got me from the indivisible standpoint. This issue divides us.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Yancer. Mr. Bilbrey.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for your action on Ordinance 926, Resolution 10, and 1126. So I want to thank you guys for doing the right thing on that. I commend all of you for doing that. Also, I want to thank Councilor Gullion for speaking up about the irregularities with the process for those contracts. And now that we've got my thanks out of the way to you guys, I will tell you the things that I'm displeased about. Again, after the meeting on June 1st, 2026, I sent an email to our council president and council vice president asking about the Public Service Committee meeting. I'm glad that we saw that little weirdness between you and the attorney about the email. You're going to have to figure out your email situation. It's crazy what you got going on. The fact that you couldn't email me and say, hey, you need to ask Jerry, or hey, we don't know, or the date is this, is just asinine. I mean, it's below you as a human being that you can't do your job to communicate, to provide information. That's ridiculous. Okay. I wanted to say that. Number 2, I want to talk about Resolution 826. No one brought Resolution 826 up. The Controller's Office did not meet the deadline that was set forth by the situation, 14 days, 14 days, 14 days. They provided some information to you guys 3 days after the deadline, which means what's the point of having a deadline if you can do it anytime after? You guys get 3 more days an excuse. We don't want you to have 3 more days. We want you to be on the deadline. The fact that they didn't provide you guys what you had requested, they provided you just some things that were already available. I'm very concerned about this. And Resolution 826, Muncie Code, Muncie Ordinance 3208, and Indiana Code 364621, all three let you guys know that you have subpoena power. You guys need to do what we've talked about the entire meeting. You need to take place your role in city government, and you need to start acting accordingly. You are the checks and balances against the executive branch. And if you don't do that, you guys just become part of the executive branch or ran over by the executive branch, and you should not allow that to happen. So thank you very much, and just start using your emails. I don't know what else to say. Just email. Just email. Can you do that? Moving forward, you promised me you'd work on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where are you going to work for?
Yes,
You are going to work on it. So I got you on the record. You are going to work on responding.
responding, absolutely.
All right. We'll talk about it next meeting.
Okay. Miss Chanel Stewart? No, left. Thank you. Miss Elizabeth Etzel? Miss Lynn Thornburg?
Lynn Thornburg.
Tilts.
It tips. Oh,
Yeah.
there. I've had a lot of stuff to say sitting here all night listening to different things, but I didn't. I do want to second what the gentleman from ARC said, and because I work at Open Door, and until you get to know a homeless person really, I mean, you pass them, you see them holding a sign or something, but until you see their struggles and hear their story, and it's not just sitting there crying, it's just like, I'm here because I need you to help me call the VA so I can do this because, you know, I don't use my phone like that. I don't text. Just, you know, to not have a place or to be under a tarp during the storm where trees are falling, you know, I mean, we need to figure this out. I mean, it's a situation in Muncie and we need to figure this out.
Thank you. Mr. Wayne Scaife?
Wayne Scaife. First of all, I didn't know anything about this meeting, about the community center. That just happened in June? You said June?
It's the last Monday
Okay.
of every month.
So I just want to make myself perfectly clear talking about this community center. And I want y'all to hear me good. This community center is for industry neighborhood. So all this stuff with these other neighborhood associations, I don't know what y'all doing with that. So I don't know anything about any bylaws, but it's for industry neighborhood. It was taken from industry. It's supposed to be given back to industry. And just remember, we keep lowering the standards. We were promised a center, Price Hall, a grocery store, a laundromat. All that's gone. Now it's just back to, oh, you're just going to get a center. But not only that, you're going to share it with other neighborhood associations. We're not doing that. That center belongs to industry neighborhood. So Blaine, Morningside, South Side, South Central, it's not their center. It belongs to industry neighborhood. And I'm not sugarcoating it anymore. We've been doing this for too long. I'm not sugarcoating any more of this. That belongs to industry neighborhood. And the last thing I want to say is, I don't know how the meeting went from talking about asking me to that presentation. I don't know where that went. That was crazy. But I've been coming to these meetings long enough, and I remember 3 times in 1 year, Muncie Police and Fire got raises within a year. And you guys had no problem giving it to them. And Dishman, I know you're a big union guy. And y'all keep messing these guys over. And I'll sit here and it's year after year, y'all can't even give them 1 raise. But I remember 3 raises were given to the Muncie Police and Fire, and y'all keep leaving these guys out. That's messed up, man. You a big union guy, y'all need to work on it. Thank you.
I like to. I gotta say something, Fred. Hey, Wayne, on Mr. Scaife. The Unity Center or Youth Center is designated for the industrial neighborhood. but it's to be shared by anybody. It's not about who owns it. It's just supposed to be an industrial neighborhood is where they were supposed to be putting it. The confliction we have, and with that meeting we had last time, was the fact that the deputy mayor, appointed mayor, what have you, could not answer the question. The first meeting we had before we even could get our officers elected, the mayor said that the $500,000 that he had pledged to the industrial neighborhood old park building in Heacon Park is where he was going to put the 500,000. In the first meeting when we get there, here all of a sudden it's going to be put at the Mock Street Church behind 12th Street Cafe. That money's not going to go anywhere else. That was his words. So that's where we're at with this committee.
It's not against you guys. I was just making a statement.
Okay.
I hope he's watching. I hope you're watching, baby. It's not against you guys. Both of them.
Mr. Paul Partizano.
He's gone.
Mr. Rob Miller.
He's
I'll keep it short because this has got to be a record meeting or close to. God, what, 4 hours? Something like that. Anyway, I was pretty disappointed to watch the end of the take up of that. I can't remember my time. Yeah, the proposal that was put up. Why did you like intentionally sabotage it and make it? The amendment was just fixing the language. I don't understand, Jerry. Like, I know you vote no on everything, but like, what are you doing? I voted for you. You switched parties. I'll never vote for you again. But like, what? Why are you doing this? It makes no sense. That's it.
Pastor Kevin Woodgett.
He's gone.
Pastor Frank Scott.
He's gone.
Mr. Norman Hawkins.
He's gone.
Miss Courtney Marsh.
She's gone.
Miss Judith Hill.
Get him, Judith.
Judith Hill, Muncie, Indiana. I just want to piggyback on this center. I know years back, and I don't know if the council have looked into it or overlooked it. It was over $500,000 that was put up for that center that was used otherwise, fraudulently or whatever. But I don't know if most of you that's on this council knew about this money that was missing, or you were too young, but nobody seemed to inquire where the money went. Now, the multi-center was the multi-center. People have been going through these meetings about this center for years. And other parts of the center, Muncie, don't need to try to piggyback on what the people have done to try to get this center done. It was in the industrial neighborhood. That's where it should stay. That over $500,000, the original cost in this day, if it was saved or put in somewhere, it would be more money than all of us in this room together would have accumulated. So I say, why are we just keep talking about this center? We don't need that old barn in Heacon Park for a center and think that we are going to be satisfied with just give us little pennies and we're going to like it. Those kids, and I'm going to give you a little history, I'm going to sit down. That center was history to Muncie. If it hadn't been for Mr. Roy Bewley, who ran that center, the little black Negro kids like me and now would not be able to set foot in Heacon Park today. It's a lot of things that went on that people seem to overlook, but we know the money was there. We do not want that place in the Heacon Park. That's why the place the park board moved out of it is no good. And why do they want to give it to us? And I'm going to keep coming up here until they do the right thing. And that church over there is not in the industrial neighborhood. It doesn't have an elevator because it's got those steps. We have young kids that are disabled. So forget thinking that we're going to accept penny pension for poor people and other people trying to profit off our shirt tails.
Thank you.
Miss Cassandra Woods.
Hello, good evening. Cassandra Woods, Muncie, Indiana. And I am here in support of the Unity Center. And look at my glasses on so I can see everything. I'm 43 years old. I've lived in Muncie, Indiana my whole life. I grew up in what was called the Muncie homes, all the way until I was like 16 years old. I witnessed firsthand challenges and strengths and changes in our community. And the Muncie homes was a place where the pizza man, the Chinese man, or the policeman did not come in the Muncie homes. It was that dangerous. When the policeman did come, it was after the smoke was cleared. It was mainly to collect bodies. It wasn't for protection. So when someone like me who sees a policeman, my perception is different because I don't see them as someone who protected me as a little girl. But I will tell you where I was safe, and that was the multi. And if you can see the difference in age, you see this woman here, you see myself and Scaife, we all range different age ranges, and that's how much history the multi held. There was a lot of loss in the Muncie homes, but where we could go and get gain was from the multi. I was there when Demetrius D. Harris was running it, and Miss Lillian Dunn was our nurturer. She made sure we had something to eat, and Mr. Harris made sure we had something positive to do. Every day after school, there was no turnover with them. They were consistent and they were there. They showed something that the city council has not really shown us, and that's the love of our community. The industry neighborhood is where the new center should go. I don't know if you guys know any of these places or non-for-profits, but I served for the Benjamite Training School for 8 years. I don't know if you guys know Henry Royce Mitchell, but he was the president of that non-for-profit, and that non-for-profit served in the industry neighborhood because we could not get the support from the city council or the city. I also was in the LEAD program. I know you guys are aware of Delaware County LEAD program. There was the very first LEAD class that there ever was. I was in that class. And if you go to the mansion at the Minnetrista, you'll see my picture on the wall standing next to Miss Yvonne Thompson.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Miss Ashaki Goodall. Thank you. And Mr. Audie Barber.
3 minutes, not a very long time, gentlemen and ladies. I do want to apologize for my rude gesture a while ago. I got a little fired up about some things I'm very heartfelt about. So I will apologize to the council for that.
Thank you.
We as taxpayers pay you guys to sit up there and do a job. If you're not doing the job, please resign. Don't keep taking my money. I work hard every day. If I'm not performing, guess what? I don't have a paycheck anymore. If this gentleman here does not perform, he does not have a paycheck. If she does not perform, she does not have a paycheck. Most of you folks up there are not performing. You don't need a paycheck from us. Sign that letter of resignation. If you can't do the job, if you think it's just one night a month that you're up there to do a job and you don't look at your paperwork until that day at 5 o'clock, then you need to turn your letter of resignation in and let somebody get up there that is confident enough to get up there and do the job and not have to keep saying, oh, are we voting on this? Pay attention in the meeting. You don't need to keep asking if you pay attention. These folks out here, see, go home and watch this council meeting tonight. You want to talk about a laughing stock for these folks that's sitting here trying to bring business in here, trying to get tax abatements and stuff? Watch the meeting. It's not the audience, folks, that you're talking about. It's not me. It's not Bilberry. It's not Scape. It's not none of those folks. It's these folks sitting up here. And when you guys show your ignorance the way you do, it makes the city of Muncie look bad. All I'm asking, go home and watch the last 2 months of council meetings, and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. It's not the audience. It is the folks sitting on the council that are being paid to do a job that are not doing their job and letting the mayor do whatever the heck he wants to, and with no repercussion, or administration, whoever's in charge of being the mayor right now. So please go home and watch the meeting. And if you feel like you're the only fool sitting up there, turn your letter of resignation in. Thank you. Have a good night.
Entertain. We have another one.
Hi, my name is Melvin Kelly. I'm the executive director of Brothers to Brothers. It's a youth program. I had spoke to the mayor before he got sick, and he talked to us about looking at the church over there behind the restaurant on 12th Street. I'm not here to do any arguing or anything like that. Like many people have said, I agree with them. You know, we've been neglected a lot in Muncie, the multi-center, Garfield, you know, Southside. You know, everything that was good about our community has been closed. But what I would like to see, instead of us arguing, I would like to see some solutions. You know, I would like to see the community leaders get together and see what we can do to fix this problem, because we've been doing it for 20 years. I think it was I forget the 6 something, where the money went through the organization. I can't say the exact name, but I think what we really need to do is, like, we can come to Brothers, we can meet anywhere, but I think the community leaders need to get together and come up with a solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Entertain a motion for dismissal.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?